Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The New York Mets play the Los Angeles Dodgers. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Toyota. The summer starts here at Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. By Citi, for each home run at Citi Field, Citi will donate $2,000 to No Kid Hungry. By Geico, switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by Spectrum, switch and save with Spectrum Mobile, nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. MacArthur Park, it's melting in the dark. All the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. Well, someone left the Dodgers out in the rain. They got trashed by the Mets last night, and the Mets will be looking to get a split of the four-game series as Pete Alonso and the Mets finish their series at Dodger Stadium. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Los Angeles. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you today as the Mets close out their four-game series against the Dodgers. It's been the Pete Alonso show the last couple of days. Pete with 3 home runs in this series, 7 home runs in his first 11 games at Dodger Stadium, and he is playing his way right into a possible MVP candidacy early in 2022.
Well, I think he's definitely, not possibly, he is definitely an MVP candidate. We've got a lot of season left, but oh my God, his numbers are off the charts. His RBIs, his production, his power. He is just really having a tremendous year offensively. And the 2 home runs last night, the last home run was just incredible.
Well, through a little more than a third of the season, these would seem to be the guys who have the best shot at MVP honors in the National League. And Paul Goldschmidt's been on an incredible tear. Manny Machado we'll see tomorrow.
Machado had a great April. Betts had a great May. He's bringing it into June. And, of course, Goldschmidt has been good all year long.
Trevor Williams filling a spot on the Mets rotation. He went 5 scoreless his last time out, and he'll try and get the Mets a split today.
He's got a scoreless streak of 10 2/3 working right now, this Trevor Williams. They need him to go deeper into the games right now. He's been pitching around 5 innings or so, but he's always struggled here at Dodger Stadium.
Last time the Mets saw Julio Urias, he threw 5 scoreless innings against them last year.
Yesterday, the Dodgers threw a guy who had a record of 46-14. This young man has a record of 35-15 and won 20 ball games last season.
So the Mets and Dodgers wrap up their series in Chavez Ravine. It's the Mets in LA. All the action coming your way today on SNY. By your local Ford stores, check out the full lineup of trucks and SUVs at buyfordnow.com. By the New York Lottery, get out there and play. And by the State Farm agent of the game, Floor Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Floor at floorcawley.com. The Mets return home June 14th for a 3-game series against the Brewers, followed by a 4-game set against the Marlins starting June 17th. Get your tickets today at Mets.com/tickets. There's your Ford leaderboard. Home run leaders in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge, 21. Pete Alonso and Mookie Betts tied for the National League lead at 16. Yordan Alvarez, new 6-year contract, 15. That's your leaderboard. Major League Baseball. Home run leaders. Have a snack. Get yourself ready for the game. You might want to get something to wash that down. First pitch coming up. Sunny Southern California afternoon. The marine layer burned off early, which is to say there were clouds, but they went away. But they don't like to call them clouds in Southern California, so we call it the marine layer. But now it's gone, and it's all sunny, so you could be at the beach today, but you've chosen to be here with us.
Flushing has a marine layer sometimes. They don't call it that.
We call it clouds.
Yes.
Yes.
It is a gorgeous day.
Dodger Stadium celebrating its 60th anniversary, still looking pristine after all these years. There's your Geico Mets starting lineup. Jeff McNeil, after spending the 9th inning on the bench last night, will stay on the bench today. And the start in left field goes to Mark Canha, and at second base to Luis Guillorme. Otherwise, the Mets going with pretty much the same lineup. J.D. Davis DHing against the left-hander Julio Urias.
It's hard to believe this is his 7th season, highlighted by his work in 2020 in the postseason when he went 4-0. He's the 4th Mexican-born pitcher to win 20 games last season. Esteban Loaiza, Fernando Valenzuela, of course, and Teddy Higuera.
And the Dodger stop and shop. Defense, Will Smith back behind the plate. Eddie Alvarez, who we thought would be primarily a bench player. He's that gets the start at third base.
And there he went.
And he's speed skating right to the lineup. He's in there.
With the glove.
Absolutely.
Silver medals in both sports. Speed skating and baseball.
Is Apollo Ono in center field?
Thanks for bringing the outfield, guys. You're a little slow today. I know it's a day game. Taylor, Bellinger, Betts, they've been there the entire 4 games.
Alvarez made his Dodger debut last night. The former Marlin in the lineup today. And checking the sky, which is nothing but clear. It's a beautiful afternoon at Dodger Stadium. Julio Urias set to go. Brandon Nimmo leading off. Brandon had 2 hits last night. And Urias' first pitch of the day is swung on and missed, and we're underway.
Brandon against the left hand. I don't know if it's his wrist that's bothering him a little bit. He's fine, but he's been kind of dropping that back shoulder a little bit lately. His 2 hits last night were nicely done, cut and slashes into the opposite field.
And Urias throws a fastball by him, and it's 0-2. Interesting, those first 2 fastballs by Urias at 90. His velocity is way down this year. Last year his average velocity was 94.1. This year 92.7. And those first 2 fastballs of the day clocking at 90. It is amazing that it is 6 years ago since Urias made his big league debut against the Mets. That was at Citi Field in May of 2016. He was just 19 years old. Really the second coming of Fernando Valenzuela, who likewise made his debut at age 19. Your New Balance fearless approach.
Beautiful name for his hometown.
Culiacan. And curveball out of the strike zone, 2-2. Urias made that debut in 16. He had shoulder problems which kept him out most of 17 and 18, but since returning from those issues, he has reestablished himself as a star, and never better than he was last year. There's Fernando Valenzuela, the first of his kind. Swing and a miss, and Nimmo down on strikes, 1 away. Urias was telling the story about how his grandfather had told him all the stories about Fernando Valenzuela and how he emerged from an impoverished background in Mexico to become a phenom and take the city of Los Angeles by storm. Really changed everything about the Dodger franchise in terms of engaging the huge Mexican-American population in this area.
Fernando Mania.
Here's Starling Marte, 2 for 12 in this series. Both the hits came last night. Very different game last night for the Mets after being held to a run and 8 hits in the first 2 games of the series combined. They exploded for 9 runs and 13 hits last night, including 4 home runs.
And more important, more impressive, what they got down early by 3 runs and came back.
And did it against a top quality pitcher in Walker Buehler, who got knocked out in the 3rd inning. Urias had struggled against the Mets until that last time he faced them last year. He threw 5 scoreless innings last August as the Dodgers were blitzing through the Mets, beating the Mets 6 out of 7. And this one's popped up on the right side, and Gavin Lux waits for it to come down, and that's the 2nd out. So Urias retires the first 2. Again, 2 very different scenarios. The first 2 games of the series when the Mets could not scratch against Tony Gonsolin or Tyler Anderson, and then last night when they exploded for a big offensive night.
1 run on 8 hits in the first 2 games.
So here's Francisco Lindor, 2 RBIs last night, 22 RBIs now in his last 12 games. 3rd in the league with 45 driven in. 8 behind his teammate Alonso for the league lead. He got the Mets started last night with a 1st inning home run.
And all that was a hanging curveball from Buehler, but Lindor only missed 1 game with that, what was diagnosed now as a fractured finger, so he's out there. He likes to play.
A curveball by Urias, and it's 1-1. Urias has been throwing his curveball more than ever, 37% of the time this year.
Fastball, curveball, change. And he's throwing that curveball more because of the lack of velocity, as Gary was pointing to.
3 infielders on the left side against Lindor. And he takes the changeup down, and it's 2-1. Last year, Urias finished 7th in the Cy Young balloting, went 20-3 with a 2.96.
But I got him after July last year. He went 11-0 down the stretch with a 1.95 ERA.
And yet he finished 7th in the Cy Young balloting.
He should have finished higher.
Much higher. The only guy to win 20.
Color of that glove representing, of course, his homeland.
Colors of the Mexican flag. Curveball low and in. It's 3-2 to Lindor with Alonso on deck. Now, Urias was never better than he was in the postseason in 2020 when the Dodgers won it all. He won the finale in the League Championship Series. He saved the finale in the World Series, getting 7 outs. Up and away ball 4, and Lindor draws a 2-out walk to bring Alonso to the plate. Pete has accomplished something that no hitter ever had before in this ballpark. In his first 11 games at Dodger Stadium, Pete Alonso has hit 7 home runs.
No one's done that.
He's the first. 7 home runs, 15 runs batted in 11 games in this ballpark, including a pair last night, the second one of which he hit to the opposite field against Brusdar Graterol, a 100-mile-an-hour sinker, the fastest pitch he's ever hit for a home run among the 122 now that he has hit in the major leagues. Lindor trying to get the oven mitt on. He's got 2 mitts now because he's protecting the fractured finger on his right hand as well as the oven mitt he usually wears on the left hand.
Tuna casserole.
It's hard to pull on the second mitt once you have the first one on. Usually you go with the pot holder in the other hand once you have the oven mitt on the first hand.
Yes.
Just because of the difficulty in, sliding it on. But, flames can get a little warm.
I'm just interested to see if Urias is going to pitch Pete in. A lot of success by the pitchers in the first 2 games pitching Pete in. Yesterday, their book was to go away with sliders, and he made him pay.
16 home runs now has him tied with Mookie Betts for the National League lead. 53 RBIs has him alone in first place in that category. Lindor 7 steals this year in 9 tries. Not going on the first one, and Pete flies one to shallow left. On comes Taylor, and he puts it away to retire the side. A walk in 1 left. Trevor Williams goes to the mound when we come back. And up on a surfboard.
Maybe for some of you.
I can't stand up on a paddleboard.
It's really not that hard, Gary. Once you get up the first time, you'll be addicted, and you'll do it over and over. And you are very good on your feet. You would pick that up quickly.
I would never be able to do that.
What?
Never. Bad balance. Lack of coordination.
Fear?
No fear.
Okay.
Here's your Hyundai starting lineup for the Dodgers. Eddie Alvarez gets his first start. Will Smith back in behind the plate after sitting last night. Otherwise, the same unit that's gone in all 4 games, facing Trevor Williams. His 5th career start against LA. Mookie Betts leads off.
So Trevor Williams' numbers, the Toyota numbers, only 6 walks and 27 2/3 innings pitched. He's going to have to watch out. Both Trey Turner and Cody Bellinger each have 2 home runs off him.
Mookie Betts has 32 leadoff home runs in his career. That's tied for 15th all time. Today, George Springer for Toronto hit his 50th career leadoff home run. The all-time record, of course, belongs to Rickey Henderson with 81. Springer's now 4th on the list, and he might pass numbers 3 and 2. Rickey's got 81, Alfonso Soriano 54, Craig Biggio 53, and then comes Springer with 50. And Betts not all that far behind with 32. And the slider off the plate from Williams, 2 and 2. Betts just having a phenomenal year. 5 for 13 in this series, has driven in 4 runs. Freddie Freeman on deck, then Trey Turner. 3 on the left side against Mookie, who holds that bat up high, and he hits one on the ground to Lindor. Francisco right in front of it and throws out Betts, one away.
And the Lexus Metropolitan defense. Nido back behind the dish tonight. The flip-flopping of in and out. Nido and Mazika. Fiorme gets the start. Red hot with the bat and plays an outstanding segunda base out in the outfield. Kana out in left. Nimmo in center and Starling Marte in right.
Now Freddie Freeman, who had a couple of hits last night, but has really not exploded in this series. 3 for 13. And the Mets put the full shift on against him, and he gulps one out to left field, and Canna will have to play it on the hop. It bounces off his body and goes behind him. Backed up by Nimmo, and Freeman pulls in at second base. Canna just got too close to that ball.
Yeah.
And Freeman winds up in scoring position.
It's a tough play there. You kind of think you got a shot at the line drive, and you commit to come in. Then you realize you can't get there, and then you're stuck with that in-between hop. Here's the swing. Freeman's been struggling. That ball's down and in, and he hits a line drive, a sinking line drive. Now it's I can't catch it, and I got caught in between. That in-between hop, a tough chance.
And they're going to score a double for Freddie Freeman, his 20th double of the year. He's right up among the league leaders. So Trey Turner bats with a runner at second and 1 out. And Trey gets a breaking ball and hits it deep to left, and that's going to sail out of here. Trey Turner, who had a 26-game hitting streak, stopped last night, jumps on the first pitch he sees and hits a 2-run homer, his 6th of the year, and the Dodgers jump in front 2-0. Trey Turner's now hit 3 home runs in 11 career at bats against Trevor Williams, and he wasted no time.
Hanging slider right here. Didn't break away from him. It just kind of went 12-6 and stayed down the inner half.
So the Dodgers jump out to a quick 2-0 lead. Now Will Smith, and he takes a fastball strike. You think of Trey Turner as a speed guy, as a guy who gets a lot of hits, but every once in a while he'll remind you that he has got terrific power.
Pound for pound, you know.
Six home runs, now 44 runs batted in. And 1 behind Lindor for the best among National League shortstops.
Another look here from above. Let's go with one hand, but watch the location, middle, and he made contact way out in front of home plate. That's why he pulled it, and that's what happens when you throw that curveball and you hang it. It slows down the velocity, and that's what gets you in trouble.
Smith hits a bouncer back to Williams, and Trevor handles it for the second out.
That swing by Turner would make Charlie Lau and Walt Riniak proud.
One hand release.
Not Ted Williams.
Designated hitter, number 10, Justin Turner.
So 2 out now. Justin Turner is DHing for the second straight day. Justin's 2 for 9 in this series. That home run was the 4th allowed by Trevor Williams in 28 innings of work this year. The Dodgers are a home run hitting team. They're a fly ball hitting team. They have the highest ratio of fly balls to ground balls of any team in the majors. 30%, nearly 31% of their batted balls are fly balls, and that's tops in the majors. And Turner, a guy who's always trying to hit the ball in the air, swings and misses at a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. That is their philosophy. They've now hit 64 home runs this year. The Mets have hit 52. It's up and away, 2-1. I mean, their principles are simple, right? They have the lowest chase rate, the second lowest swing rate, so they're very patient. and the highest fly ball rate. There's a good curveball by Williams, and it's 2-2.
Talking to some people with the Dodgers, though, in April, they were getting very frustrated because they had a lot of fly balls that are being caught at the wall.
Well, that was the nature of the way the ball seemed to be deadened early in the season. Looks like that's loosening up a little bit the last couple of weeks. 2-2 coming, and Turner waves at a slider for strike 3. So Trevor Williams picks up his first strikeout, but not before Trey Turner's 2-run homer gives the Dodgers the early lead, 2-0 after 1. Second inning, Mets down 2-0. J.D. Davis leads off against Julio Urias. J.D. 1 for 5 in this series, DHing today, and he takes up and away from Urias, ball 1. J.D. though has been swinging the bat well lately. Last 9 games hitting .387 as he gets more and more playing time with Dom Smith's demotion. Dom, by the way, has been swinging the bat very well since going down to Syracuse. Hit a long opposite field double today. And change up off the plate from Urias, 2-0. Mark Canha on deck, and then Eduardo Escobar for the Mets in the second. Urias walked a batter in the first inning, otherwise emerged unscathed. Generally doesn't walk many, 2.0 walks per 9 innings this year. And he throws the fastball by Davis, 2-1. The Dodgers have been shifting against most of the Mets right-hand hitters, particularly with the lefties on the mound. They are a shifty team, do it more than most. But in this series, they've shifted more with their left-handers pitching than they have with their right-handers. And that one catches the corner to the satisfaction of John Bacon, the rookie plate umpire, 2-2. See, Friday was the day that Tyler Anderson, the lefty, pitched. And they shifted 76% of the time with Buehler and company yesterday, only 44.
Yeah, soft tossing left-hander with a great changeup.
And now with 2 strikes, they come out of the shift against J.D. That's interesting.
And I think that's proper, Garrett.
No, I think you're right, and I'm surprised more teams don't do this.
Right, with 2 strikes, J.D. We've seen enough of J.D. when he's on, and he's been swinging the bat good lately with more playing time. He drives that ball into that right center field gap.
And for the Mets, who have been a contact-oriented team this year, we've seen more and more guys doing that, especially with 2 strikes, go on the other way. And J.D. fouls one off, 3-2. So it's all part of the mix, and you know, I think it takes a while for teams to catch up in terms of trusting what they're seeing, to see a few weeks worth of results before they're going to start changing the way they defense players. Many teams will use numbers from 3 years, 1 year, but you also have to trust what you've seen recently. That's low, ball 4, and the Mets have a leadoff base runner. Second walk given up by Urias. So uncharacteristically, Urias walking a pair, 2 of his first 5 batters. And there's Canha. Mark is 1 for 4 in this series. Sat last night. You were with us last night, and we excuse you if you weren't, because it was very late by the time the 9th inning arrived, and then it was delayed and all sorts of things happened. Anyway, Jeff McNeil, his last at bat, struck out and then spiked his bat and was taken out of the game, and it wasn't clear whether that was the reason he was taken out of the game. And Buck Showalter was asked afterward, and Buck's answer was, mentally he just needed to spend the 9th inning with us. Which I thought was a great quote. And Jeff is not in the lineup today. He's been struggling in this series. Sometimes Jeff can be so hard on himself when things aren't going well. Curveball low and in, and it's 1-1 to Canha. This is that last at bat.
Well, this was a culmination of things too. Jeff's just been having a tough series, and it just seems like something's bothering him a little bit in this series. So
one thing I'll say is that, you know, Jeff used to be very demonstrative every time he made an out, and he's been so much better this year at kind of keeping that in. But I think Buck saw something in that last at bat that bothered him. He kind of gestured to McNeil afterward, just kind of hooked a finger at him and said,
"Right,
let's just simmer down and spend the last half inning with me." And he put Canha out in left field to finish the game. 2-1 to Mark, and the curveball drops in for a strike, and then Canha thought that ball stayed high and looks back at John Bacon. First time we've seen Bacon calling balls and strikes.
Little borderliners, but that was a borderline high. I thought that was high.
I think Buck was opting for sausage to go with his eggs. It's a day game. Perfect day to have Bacon calling balls and strikes. That curveball dribbled to the left side, and they'll never throw him out. Alvarez puts it in his pocket. Canha's got an infield hit. Mets lead the world in infield hits, and that's their first hit of the day. Eric Chavez said the other day, "Why do we have so many infield hits?" He said, "Because we're lucky."
That's a good question. Yeah.
And he doesn't feel as though there's anything more to it than that. Mets have had a lot of soft contact infield hits. Yes, they run hard to first base, and that is certainly part of it. But
right.
Eric would prefer to see hard contact.
Also, when you strike out, you don't get infield hits as well.
Yep, you are absolutely correct.
So here's Escobar, who's really come alive the last couple of days. 2 hits Friday, 2 hits including a home run yesterday, and most of his production has come as a right-hand batter. Bats with 2 on and nobody out, with the Mets down 2-0 in the second. And Escobar takes a curveball for a strike.
Escobar got himself a hanging breaking ball here, up, and just hit a little 2-iron right there. So that was a humpback line drive, actually.
Escobar is now hitting .291 as a right-hand batter, just .209 from the left side, and 3 of his 4 home runs have come from this side of the plate.
Are we having problems?
Yeah, equipment problem for Will Smith.
Yep.
It's all about the pitch com.
Jeez.
He's got the pitch com.
I mean, come on.
Pad on his knee, and then he has the PitchCom receiver in his helmet, and the receiver not working, so they'll get a new receiver. I mean, it's important for the catcher to have the receiver in his helmet just to make sure he's hit the right button. Right? He punches the fastball button, he thinks, and he hears slider, he knows he messed up.
I think we should have waited a year on the PitchCom personally, as far as research and development. But
you mean making sure all the bugs were out before they put it into
that's
play?
Just my opinion.
Maybe they have to reboot it.
Sometimes that works.
Maybe it's like a jukebox. You just kick it.
Don't play B-17. Davis at second, Canha at first, and Escobar gets a curveball and fouls it off. 1-2.
Urias has got a slow sweeping hook, so you should be able to pick it up pretty quickly, but it's going to leave his hand a lot higher up than his fastball.
Escobar has been a really good breaking ball hitter this year. It's been a lot tougher for him to put up big numbers against fastballs.
You know, Gary, you mentioned that his velocity, Ronnie, you also, that his velocity's down, and sometimes that's a big difference for him with the slow hook, that you don't throw hard enough to keep the hitters honest.
And the change up, he gets a half swing, and Escobar stopped at 2-2.
If you're going to throw a lot of curveballs and changeups, then every time you throw a fastball to right-handed hitters, you got to make it count inside. So he's going to have to fire some fastballs inside like Keith said, to keep them honest.
2-2. And he struck him out. Down with the fastball away. Second strikeout for Urias and the first out of the second.
He's caught a lot of plate.
Again, Escobar's been vulnerable to good fastballs this year.
Just got under that one. It was on belt high. You're right, Ron. Had it out outer half of the plate.
So 2 on and 1 out. Now Luis Guillorme, who's hitting .351 overall. That's good. .360 against left-handers. That's better. .450 over his last 13 games. Even better. Guillorme is now at 94 at bats. He gets first pitch curveball and fouls it off.
Always curious, Keith. Come up for your first at bat, get a curveball first pitch, and you swing at it. Are you looking for that pitch, or?
Well, if with a lefty, if you're going up the middle, you can adjust to the breaking ball. I can't relate to that because my first at bat, I used to always like to take that first pitch until I got a strike or 2-0.
Good running fastball, and it's 0-2.
And Uria not happy with himself on that pitch.
Ronnie, if you were facing Keith, would you just throw a fastball down the middle as first at bat, knowing that he'd take the first pitch?
Yeah, I used to do it to a lot of the Cardinals hitters because that whole organization would take the first time through. Tommy Herr and a lot of the Cardinal hitters. But they were ready if guys were on base, and they were ready their second time through.
0-2 to Guillorme, who's been piling up the 2 strike hits. This one, though, he pops up. Trey Turner looking through the sunglasses. Taylor coming on, and it's Taylor to make the catch. And we're 2 out. So after a walk and an infield hit, Urias has retired the next 2, and now it's left to Tomas Nido with 2 out and 2 on.
This might be a good matchup here, guys, because he's hit a lot of breaking balls for base hits, Nido, in the last 5-6 starts.
Not an overpowering pitcher. Velocity down, straight fastball, slow hook. It's Nido's kind of. It's a good matchup for Nido. We'll see.
Nido hitting just .247, but .364 with runners in scoring position. And he goes after a first pitch changeup, 0-1. And I think you can do that to Tomas, particularly in these RBI spots. Throw the ball off the plate and get him to chase.
No, Tomas does not walk. He's up there swinging.
Davis led off the inning with a walk. He's at second. Canha with an infield hit is at first. And the curveball runs inside, and it's 1-1.
Urias is fighting himself out there this afternoon so far. Saw that a lot yesterday in Walker Buehler.
Buehler just melted down in that last inning after he got into a little tete-a-tete with the home plate umpire. And Nido chases a fastball, and it's 1-2. Well, he's seen everything that Urias has to offer in this at bat. Changeup, curveball, fastball. Urias in his career 35-15 with a 3.07 ERA. Still only 25 years old. And changeup misses, and it's 2-2. They used him out of the bullpen early in his career. In his postseason career, he's mostly pitched out of the pen. 18 career postseason appearances. 15 of those have been in relief. And he has been phenomenal in the postseason. 25th pitch of the inning coming up. And Nido takes the curveball down. Good take, and it's 3-2.
And Urias, again, it's almost like he's being a perfectionist out there. Every pitch that does not a strike, he's dogging himself a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell from his demeanor he's not happy with the way things are going. But he's got an escape hatch here. 3-2 and 2 out. Davis and Canha will be running. And Nido takes a ball 4 outside, and the Mets have the bases loaded. So the third walk, first time through the batting order for Julio Urias. And Nimmo will come up with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Number 9, Brandon Nimmo.
Tomas must have heard us. I don't walk. Take that.
Well, let's just say that it's a rare walk for Tomas. It's his 5th of the year in 93 plate appearances. Well, clearly Urias feels out of sorts, and Will Smith trying to calm him down and get him refocused as he faces Nimmo with the bases loaded.
You got a pitcher out there struggling. There's Mark Pryor, the pitching coach. 3 walks and not even finished 2 innings. Comfort level, fastball away. Got that left side of the infield wide open for Brandon. Don't let him get a first strike. He throws a fastball first pitch, cover it.
Nimmo struck out his first time up today. Bases loaded, 2 down, and a first pitch curveball misses for ball 1.
Even better, misses with his secondary pitch, and you're 1-0. This is your pitch to pick, your spot.
Mets only have 2 left-hand hitters in the lineup today, and Urias is now throwing first pitch curveballs to Guillorme and to Nimmo. Comes back with a fastball fouled off, 1-1.
Well, he got his fastball away there, fouled it back, good cut. Brandon's been slightly under the ball.
See the walk numbers on Urias. He had walked only 12 batters in his first 10 starts this year, but 3 walks inside of 2 innings today. And trying to find his way out of a big jam now.
It's a big pitch here.
Davis at third, Canha at second, Nido at first with 2 down. And Nimmo flies one foul down the left side, and it's 1-2.
Crowd is into their Dodgers. I tell you, they're into the game. They sit down, they watch the game.
Urias about to throw his 30th pitch of the inning. And Nimmo golfs one into center field. Bellinger is there, and that retires the side. Urias works out of bases loaded trouble and keeps a 2-0 lead in the second. One of their forgotten stars is Shawn Green. For a brief period of time, it's one of the best hitters in the game. First Dodger ever to have back-to-back 40 home run seasons. It's the 20th anniversary of that. Had maybe the greatest offensive game anybody's ever had. He had 4 home runs in a game, went 6 for 6, had 19 total bases. Nobody else has ever done that. 4 homers, a double, and a single. Finished his career as a Met in 2006 and 7. 49 home runs in 2001, drove in 125 runs that year. Next year hit 42 and drove in 114. Didn't finish higher than 5th in the MVP balloting though. And Cody Bellinger put together his MVP season in 2019. He looked like the second coming of Shawn Green, but he's been unable to duplicate that since. Did homer in the opening game of this series. That's his only hit in 11 at bats in the 3 games. 2 home runs and 6 career at bats against Trevor Williams, though. Off-speed breaking ball fouled off. It's nothing in 2.
He's got the big long swing. He stands up there like a beanpole, and he's got the long swing, so he does pull a lot of balls foul. But because of the length of his swing, it just makes him so vulnerable upstairs and breaking balls in the dirt. It's kind of a very defensive swing right there from Bellinger, something we don't see very often. First time in this series for sure.
Struck out 56 times already this year.
Fights off that fastball. Bellinger, then Chris Taylor and Eddie Alvarez for the Dodgers in the second. Dodgers lead the league in runs scored, but when you look at their lineup, particularly with Max Muncy on the sidelines, it is a very top-heavy lineup. And you've got some dangerous hitters further down in the lineup, like Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger and Chris Taylor. But in terms of consistent hitters, really the top 3 guys in the lineup are head and shoulders above everybody else.
Correct.
Betts, Freeman, Trey Turner. And then it falls off a bit for Dave Roberts' team. They can get Muncy healthy and back. He's just starting a rehab assignment today. That would certainly help. Driven out to right field. Marte got turned around, and it's over his head and off the base of the wall. He falls down going after it. Bellinger pulls in at second. Well, Marte, who had been so pristine out in right field, had trouble on a ball in the opening game of the series, hit by Justin Turner back near the fence, and here he got turned around and tied into a pretzel on the ball hit by Bellinger.
Yes, that is. He's got the sunglasses on as too. Well, that's right where Bellinger likes it. It was right down the middle, but he turned the wrong way, as you can see. And once he made that, the ball was hit so hard there was no recovering.
I wonder if it's hard to see. Canha misjudge that ball in left field. Didn't get a great jump on that. Did Marte? Trey Turner lost the pop up that Taylor had to catch.
3 hits now against Trevor Williams. All have been for extra bases. Here's Chris Taylor, and he takes a sinker inside for ball 1. Taylor 3 for 11 in this series, including a home run.
So if you're a club right now doing the little things defensively, the Mets have the shift on. You want to advance the runner. Boy, oh boy, just punch a little ground ball to the right side.
Well, contact is not Chris Taylor's forte.
I hear you.
He has the lowest in-zone contact rate in the majors and the lowest out-of-zone contact rate in the majors. He swings very hard, and he strikes out a lot.
65 times to be precise, Gare, in 172 at bats.
But he's hitting .262. He's got a .342 on base. He's hit 6 home runs, so he's dangerous. He takes inside 2-1.
Well, this is the pitch that you want to come in and watch it bleed out over the plate, right down the middle, and that's the ball that he can hit. He's on top of the plate. You can see it was right down the pipe.
Taylor bounces one foul outside third, down past Dino Ebel, the third base coach. 2-2.
All those right-hand pitchers, Gary, that have movement that runs into a right-hand hitter away from a left-hand hitter. If they don't have a two-seamer, a four-seamer to come straight and throw a dart inside corner, they really have to start that fastball 6, 7, 8 inches inside so it breaks on the inside corner.
I mean, Trevor, that's a four-seamer from Trevor, and he throws more four-seamers than two-seamers, but he can get in trouble if that two-seamer leaks back over.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good right-hand pitchers. Nolan Ryan comes to mind, Gary, that didn't like to throw left-handers inside, me as well, because they were afraid it would bleed out over the middle.
3-2 coming to Taylor, and he whacks one out to right center. Back in the gap goes Nimmo. Tagging at second is Bellinger, and he'll head over to third. So a productive out by Taylor. Bellinger at third with one out.
I tell you, I'm impressed this whole 4-game series with these Dodger fans. They are so into the game.
Well, there aren't a lot of distractions here, you know.
Right. I hear you.
We've also had a really good team for a really long time.
Well, they had won 8 straight National League West titles before last year when they won 106 games and finished second. They've been to the World Series 3 of the last 5 years and won it all 2 years ago. Mets bring the infield in to face Eddie Alvarez. Watch out for the bunt here. And Alvarez swings through a fastball, 0-1. Alvarez, the former Marlin, made his Dodger debut last night and went 0 for 1. They left him in at third base, had a couple of ground balls that sailed by him. Played a total of 36 games with Miami the last 2 years, hit 188. Former Olympic speed skating silver medalist. Lines a changeup foul when it's 0-2. Eddie's now 32 years old. He grew up in Miami, and it is truly remarkable that a guy can excel in two sports the way Alvarez had. I mean, he gave up baseball for a long time to concentrate on speed skating, then picked it back up when he was like 26 years old and made it to the big leagues, which was phenomenal in its own right.
Well, he's got to make contact here, get the run in.
And Williams needs a strikeout, and he comes inside with the fastball, 1-2. In his last start, Williams worked 5 scoreless innings. In that game against Washington, he struck out only 1 batter, but it came in a big spot. And he needs a strikeout in this spot. Gavin Lux, another left-hand hitter on deck. And Alvarez goes down swinging at the high fastball. And there is a big strikeout for Trevor Williams, his second of the day.
You know, there's the physical part of making the pitches, right? And they wanted a high fastball here, and he got it up high enough. There's also the psychological part. A new guy trying to impress a new team with a runner on third. You know he wants to swing the bat and get the run in. Don't throw him a strike.
So now the infield can back up with 2 out for Gavin Lux. Lux playing all of the second base in this series. 2 hits and 9 at bats. Mets put 3 on the right side against him. He fouls off the first pitch fastball, 0-1. We're talking about the consistent success for this Dodger franchise. That's what they've done the last 10 years. 9 straight postseason appearances, 3 World Series appearances, and a World Series title in 2020. And you can tell them it was a short season, but they don't care. They have been waiting for that World Series title for so long. So many successful seasons where they had fallen short in the postseason before they finally won it all.
They got the monkey off their back, so to speak.
1981 had been their previous title, and that was a shortened season. Strike year. One to Lux. Fouls off another fastball, and it's 1-2.
Lux has really tightened up his swing. Remember when he first came up, he had I don't know if his first home run, but one of his first home runs was off Noah Syndergaard at Citi Field. Straight away to center field. But he's got tightened up his stroke.
Were we sitting in center field that night?
I think we were.
I think we were. One-two coming from Williams, and Lux breaks his bat and rolls it out to Lindor, who makes the underhand toss for the 6-3 putout. And so Trevor Williams able to work around a leadoff double in the second. Nice work by Trevor to keep it a 2-0 Dodger lead. Well, the Chinese theater is open. You can see all the stars if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Some that you recognize and some you've never heard of. Third inning. Starling Marte leading off against Julio Urias after the Mets left the bases loaded in the second inning. Urias had to throw 30 pitches in that inning, and now he faces 2, 3, and 4 in the order. And Marte drives one out to right center field, headed back toward the wall, and it's out of here. Starling Marte goes the other way for his 7th home run of the year to get the Mets on the board. 2-1 LA. So Marte wastes no time after Urias had to work overtime in the second inning, and Marte clobbers one to the opposite field. Mets hit 4 home runs last night, number 7 of the year for Marte.
Right up at the plate. Changeup looked like, huh, Ronnie?
Yep.
And stayed back and waited and hit it right where it was pitched.
So now Francisco Lindor, he takes a backdoor curveball for a strike.
So watch the contact here. You see with the home, you let the ball get deeper when it's away.
Lindor pops one a mile high in the middle of the infield. Turner calls for it. Wow.
Just the exact opposite of Trey Turner's home run, where he got the hanging breaking ball, hit it out in front of the plate and pulled it.
Number 20, Pete Alonso.
Well, last night Alonso hit a home run to the opposite field on a fastball away to just about the same spot where Marte just hit his.
Did you say it was a 100-mile-an-hour sinker?
100-mile-an-hour sinker. Not only the hardest pitch that Alonso's ever hit for a home run, but since StatCast began in 2015, the hardest pitch any Met has hit for a home run. He'd fly to left his first time up today. And he takes the first pitch curveball for ball one. It's really interesting. We didn't see very many opposite field home runs early in the season. All of a sudden, ball's flying a little better the other way.
Nice.
Taking high 2-0.
Batch B.
Well, you know, Buck had this theory when we were in San Francisco that the ball was flying better on the West Coast than it was on the East Coast, whether it was a weather thing or a humidor thing.
And he had said he had heard it from other managers and coaches that he knows.
You know, managers can be conspiracy theorists too.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I mean, clearly home run hitting was down over the first month and a half of the season, but it does look like it's picking up. We had a day earlier this week when 57 home runs were hit in one day, the fourth most ever on one day in Major League history.
Buck
Way
told,
outside 3-1.
Buck told us the other day, I'm not paranoid, I'm just alert.
Yes. That's very well put. He sees everything. Now Urias behind on Alonso 3-1 with J.D. Davis on deck. Let's see if he challenges Pete here. And a changeup lifted out to left. And Urias fortunate this is staying in. As Taylor makes the catch, 2 out.
He got it away enough, Gary. If that ball had come a little closer to Pete, that ball would have been launched.
Still didn't miss it by much.
He dropped it on the outside corner on him.
So 2 out. Here's JD, who walked his first time up. Urias walked 3 in the first 2 innings, very much against type for him, and clearly was fighting himself on the mound. Gave up the leadoff home run to Marte here in the third, but he's retired the next 2. And now JD, California native, swings at a fastball, 0-1. JD grew up in the Sacramento area, but played his college ball down in Southern California at Cal State Fullerton. Good changeup by Urias, 0-2.
It's got a real tight motion, high leg kick by Urias. Watch the left leg when it comes around. He kicks it and spins almost all the way around, does a 360.
It's hard to catch a ground ball with your back to the plate. That's on the outside corner, got him looking at a fastball. And Urias strikes out Davis, his third strikeout. Marte's home run gets the Mets a little closer.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium, where the Mets trail the Dodgers 2-1 heading to the bottom of the third inning. And guys, I don't know about you, but for me, there is no organization that honors its history around the ballpark better than the Dodgers. I don't think there's any team that's really close, to be quite honest with you. All along the concourses, everywhere you turn, neat artifacts from the organization's history. And today I got to walk around with the team historian who pointed out some of the really special ones. I want to start by highlighting the plate, home plate from the final game at Ebbets Field that the Dodgers played on September 24th, 1957 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You can see how worn that plate is, but one of the things the historian said is looking at that plate, he always thinks back about the organist at Ebbets Field, Gladys Gooding, who on that day, even though it had not been announced that the Dodgers were leaving Brooklyn and heading to Los Angeles, she had a feeling, a lot of people had a feeling, so she locked the door to the organ room and was playing funeral music, playing California, Here I Come, Thanks for the Memories, all throughout the game. And Walter O'Malley, for the first 2 innings of that game, was trying to break into that organ room, trying to get her to stop. And after 2 innings, he finally gave up and let her do what she did. They didn't announce that they were moving until 2 weeks later, but that I thought was I had never heard that story before, a really neat story.
So there was a time you could throw the ball on the black of the plate.
There actually was blood. Mookie Betts rolls over one behind the bag. That's a foul ball. Third base umpire Manny Gonzalez was a little indecisive in his call. He was about to point fair and then threw his arms up and called it a foul ball.
Well, he was running and shadowing right behind Escobar, so he's trying to get a peek around the body of Escobar. It's not an easy call.
Great story about Gladys Gooding. It was an old trivia question, you know, about who played for the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Rangers, the Giants. And the answer, of course, was Gladys Gooding, who was very famous in her day as the organist deluxe. Line to center, and in comes Nimmo to pick it off. Not an easy play for Nimmo as that ball knuckled, and that's the first out.
That ball started out going to right center, and then it took a left turn and went to left center, and then it evened out and went straight to Brandon.
Imagine if you could do that on purpose. Hit a ball that has no spin and acted like a knuckleball. There's Freddie Freeman. We had a base hit to left field that got by Cannon, was scored a double. He hits this one well out to left center. Back goes Nimmo to the track, back near the wall, leaping, and he makes the catch right before he hit the fence. Brandon Nimmo with a terrific play to rob it. Freddie Freeman of another extra base hit. Now that's the second out.
Gets a good jump here. Checked where the wall was. Knew he had room. Nice play.
As it turned out, I'm not sure he had to jump, but it wound up working out for him just fine because it put him in position to cushion himself from the wall. So 2 batters, 2 putouts for Nimmo, and now Trey Turner with the bases empty takes a strike. Turner hit a 2-run homer in the first inning, his 6th of the year on a first pitch breaking ball from Trevor Williams. It looked like the Angels were going to finally beat the Phillies today. They were up 6-2 going to the bottom of the 8th. Bryce Harper hit a grand slam. And now they're 6-6 in the 9th. The Angels have lost 10 games in a row.
And the Phillies have not lost since the firing of Joe Girardi.
And Parkas are playing the Angels. Line to center. This one will fall in front of Nimmo for a base hit. So Turner is 2 for 2.
Well, just started to throw it in there.
Yeah. No, Rob Thompson is unbeaten.
Leave no stone left unturned.
By the way, Mike Trout is 0 for 3 in that game for the Angels. Now 0 for his last 26. Longest 0 for of his career.
He surpassed my longest 0 for.
And he's 0 for Philadelphia, which is even bigger because, of course, you know, he grew up in South Jersey and all of his family and friends have been there all weekend.
It's kind of scary because it's not going to last forever. And the Mets are going to go down to Anaheim. over the next weekend.
Here's Will Smith, who had a comebacker his first time up. Turner at first, 10 steals this year. It's third in the National League. Two-time National League stolen base champ. And would be a perfect spot for him to be running.
The Angels were 27-17 before this 10-game losing streak.
They lose today.
They're under 500.
Yeah.
And then the AL West would be much like the NL East, with one team over 500. Sliced down the right field line by Smith, and that ball just lands foul. That ball was fair for about 200 feet, and the last foot or two, it just sliced outside the line.
Barely.
Whoa. Well, had it been fair, the ball bounced out of play, which means Turner wouldn't have been able to score.
There it is.
Certainly the
Looks like
clear sign that it was a foul ball.
Looks like almost a tennis match.
Looks like the French Open.
Yep.
Don't they have the automatic line calls there?
Nadal won his 14th French Open in about 30 minutes, or it seemed like that.
I mean, has he ever lost on a clay court?
I think he has lost,
but not very often.
Not very often.
Nito's thrown out only 1 of 13 this year. And Smith fouls back a change up, and it's 0-2.
Smith is dropping his back shoulder as well.
He's had a rough year so far. I mean, this is a really good young hitter who just torched the Mets last year. He had 25 home runs last year and an 860 OPS. This year 716 OPS, way down, and just 5 home runs. Oh-2 from Williams, and a bouncing ball. Guillorme comes in to get it and makes the toss to get Smith. That retires the side. A hit and 1 left with some heroics from Brandon Nimmo thrown in. 2-1 LA after 3. MLB.TV is now $114.99. Watch all out-of-market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. That's down a run as they come to bat in the 4th inning. Marcano leads off against Julio Urias, who's thrown 57 pitches through the first 3 innings. Urias is not a guy who throws a lot of pitches. He's not thrown more than 91 in a game this year. Canha had an infield hit his first time, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Canha, Escobar, and Guillorme 6, 7, and 8 in the order. All the runs in this game coming on 2 swings of the bat. Trey Turner 2-run homer in the first. Starling Marte solo home run in the 3rd. Canha 2 for 5 in this series. Gets a curveball and hits it on the ground to Trey Turner. And he rifles it over to Freeman, 1 out. It's Trey Turner doing his best. Luis Aparicio. Aparicio, the great all-star shortstop with the White Sox and Orioles, loved to hold the ball long enough to get everybody by half a stride.
Rafael Santana used to do that. Aparicio played for the Red Sox, I think, at the end of his career.
Did he?
I think so.
I think you're right.
I mean, I remember him. He played for the White Sox in the series in '59 against the Dodgers, and then he was with the Orioles when they beat the Dodgers in the World Series in '66. Escobar struck out his first time up. And the fastball up and away from Urias, a ball and a strike. Well, the Angels went back in front of the Phillies. Matt Duffy, an RBI single in the top of the 9th. And so it's 7-6 Angels leading the Phillies going to the bottom of the 9th. Curveball pulled toward the hole. Nice stop by Alvarez. He spins and throws him out. Eddie Alvarez, who had a couple of balls go by him to his left last night, that time making like a cat. And picking up that hard ground ball by Escobar for the second out.
Yeah, he's had some tough chances here. This is a bullet. Really nice play going to his left.
So he pushed off on that right foot like Art Schenk.
Quick feet.
Yes.
Very nice play.
You know who was also a great speed skater back in the day? Lee Mazzilli.
That's right, Mazzo.
He won 4 age-level national championships in short track and 3 in long track.
So one guy from Miami and one guy from Brooklyn.
Usually think of your speed skaters as coming from Wisconsin.
That's right. Bonnie Blair.
Eric Hayden. Luis Guillorme flied out his first time up, and he takes one on the corner for a strike, 1-1. Breaking ball hit out to left, and right there is Taylor waiting for it. That retires the side. Urias has his first 1-2-3 inning. Still 2-1 LA. In 2015, Mets began their road to the World Series by knocking off the Dodgers in the National League Division Series. Seminal performance by Jacob deGrom in Game 5, surviving a rough first inning and muscling his way through 6 to get the win. With Noah Syndergaard pitching in relief, and then Familia getting the final 6 outs. Postseason history between these two teams. Just ignore the top line. My friends here are still traumatized. But 06, the Mets swept the Dodgers in the division series. That was the series we showed Sean Green before. Sean Green was the right fielder when the Mets threw out 2 runners at the plate on the same play. Justin Turner fouls one off the right side, 1-1.
That 2015 postseason against the Dodgers, that was a great series.
Never forget Conforto homing off the foul pole against Greinke.
That's right.
It's the start of Daniel Murphy's magical postseason run.
That was a phenomenal Murph.
Conforto's, I think I remember, it was like 114 miles an hour.
Yeah. But ultimately, that series against the Dodgers came down to deGrom. He was completely dominant in Game 1. They couldn't touch him, and he had nothing in Game 5. And he won anyway.
He found a way.
You know, if we didn't know before, I mean, that was his second big league season. Grounded behind third. Tough play for Escobar. He sets and fires, and he got him. Wow. What a play by Escobar. Knew that he had some time with Justin Turner running, and he threw a strike to Alonso to get a very tough first out.
Well, if he doesn't have a strong arm, Gare, he doesn't make this play. It's a beautiful backhand, long hop. And that's just a strong arm to get Turner. Right there. The ball had double written all over it, and he had to gather himself here. Momentum carrying him into the foul territory, and just a powerful arm over and right on the dime.
It was a Manny Machado play. We'll see Machado tomorrow night.
It's like a strike from 200 feet.
Yeah. Turned from a double to an infield hit to an out.
They've played good defense behind Williams. Williams puts the ball in play.
Cody Bellinger It went over the head of Marte for a double leading off in the second, and Williams got around that. And he misses down with a changeup, 1-1. I was going to say about DeGrom, we knew he was good, right, from the time he came up in 2014. But I think that series was the one where you said to yourself, there's something extra special about this guy. And that game in particular, in Game 5, 1-2 to Bellinger.
He had a little 3-start bobble in 2017, but that was it.
That was the last time. Now the bobble is just getting him back onto a big league mound. Finally threw a bullpen session yesterday, and that went well, and it starts the progression. You know, hopefully by sometime in July, whether it's before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, but hopefully that progression will be complete, and we'll finally see Jake again in the game. 2-2 to Bellinger.
Well, you notice Nito giving a high target, and we've talked this whole series about Bellinger being vulnerable upstairs.
He wants to throw the same pitch he threw to Alvarez.
Here comes the changeup. Now you want to keep that one down.
And he does, and he strikes out Bellinger. Perfectly placed changeup for his 3rd strikeout. Watch SNY anytime with the new app. Stream Mets games, live shows, and access original content on any device with an in-market TV provider subscription. Download the SNY app now. Or, you know, after you go get a beer.
When you get to it.
Whenever it is. It's a good time to download the app. Williams with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day as he takes on Chris Taylor, who had a fly ball to center his first time up, and a fastball nicks the outside corner, 0-1. Taylor has to lean back. 1-1. Braves lead the Rockies 7-4 in the 6th, so some more runs being scored in that game after they had 2 airtight games the last 2 days. Braves are trying for their 5th straight win. They're 8.5 behind the Mets, their closest pursuer. Slider off the plate, 2-1, and the Braves with a win today could actually get over 500.
Starting to make a move. He knew it was coming.
Meanwhile, the next opponent for the Mets, the Padres, in Milwaukee, finishing their series. They're 3-3 in the 10th. Padres won the last 2 in that series behind some great pitching from Joe Musgrove and Mackenzie Gore, neither one of whom the Mets will see in that series. They'll get Blake Snell tomorrow night, Yu Darvish Tuesday night, Sean Manaea Wednesday night. So more and more teams are stacking left-handers against the Mets. 2 of the 3 games in San Diego, they'll see lefties after facing 2 lefties the last 3 days here. Two coming to Taylor, and slider off the plate, 3-2. And Taylor goes down on strikes. Williams throws a fastball by him for his 4th strikeout. And Trevor Williams has his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. On to the 5th, 2-1 LA. While you watch this fine display of athleticism, join our insiders on the couch for some baseball talk as they weigh in on the latest Mets and Yankees news. Baseball Night in New York, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers, weeknights at 6 p.m. only on SNY.
That's a good way to stay in shape. You're working everything there.
You are, but that looks like a ripped rotator cuff for me.
That looks like I have no shot at that.
This is probably more your speed.
This Santa Monica right in front of Shutters.
Oh, you're right.
Beautiful.
Tomas Nido leads off in the 5th inning against Julio Urias and takes a fastball away. Nido walked his first time up. One of 3 walks Urias granted in the first 2 innings. But since giving up a home run to Starling Marte leading off in the 3rd, Urias has retired 6 in a row. He's been pretty much as advertised. His Fastball velocity is down. His strikeouts are down. But he started the day 9th in the National League in ERA, getting the job done. And that's kind of been the story so far today.
Curveball usage up.
20-3 for a team that won 106 games. That's 20-3. I remember was David Cone.
That's right.
1988. Let's see his fastball usage. Among the lowest in the league.
Interesting. Fried's on that list.
Oh, he's got a great curveball.
Yeah.
Fly ball out to right field. Betts angling his body in the sun, trying to get the right angle, and he makes the catch. That was interesting, right?
Sure was.
Hopping from his left foot to his right foot to try and get that ball out of the sun. Not a cloud to be seen anywhere on a bright Southern California afternoon. Final in Philly. The Phillies walked off the Angels 9-7.
No way.
Bryson Stott walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th.
I was just going to mention that, Gare.
Because the Angels had taken the lead.
Yes.
They got a run in the top of the 10th, and then Phillies got a walk-off home run from Bryson Stott, 3-run shot in the bottom of the 10th. And so the Angels have now lost 11 in a row. They fall below 500, and the Phillies win their 4th straight. They're now 3-0 under Rob Thompson.
Well, that's a nightmare flight, Keith.
That is a long flight home.
Brandon Nimmo is struck out and flied out 0 for 2. And he fouls back fastball from Urias.
That's one of those flights where when you get on, you remind the young players on the team, zip it. No yelling, no screaming, no music. No.
Well, Phillies fired their manager right before that series began. It would appear as though the Angels manager has a lot of job security, Joe Madden, but you never know in this world. Especially, I mean, you've got a team there, and we'll see them this weekend. You've got a team that has arguably the 2 best players in the game. And they've also gotten some really good performances from some other people, you know, the Jared Walshes, the Patrick Sandovals, the Taylor Wards.
Yep.
And yet they can't get out of their own way year after year. Up and in, 2-2 to Nimmo.
I think Joe Madden's in his last year of his contract, if I remember right.
It's a fascinating situation. It really is, because it looked early on in this season as though they finally had figured some things out. Maybe had a little more pitching than they'd had in the past.
2 months does not make a season.
Nope. Nimmo fights one off. And with that, that means the Astros now have an 8-game lead in the AL West. Houston's been playing really well, not getting a lot of attention, but under the radar. Yordan Alvarez hit his 16th home run today.
And they're beating Kansas City this afternoon.
Yeah, there's
7-4 in the 9th.
Yeah, 2 outs in the 9th.
Have you looked at some of the Kansas City numbers? Whew. They're having a tough year.
How about the Tigers? I think I saw they had 6 guys in the lineup today hitting 200 or under.
Javi Baez now going into the game today is batting 190 with a 48.7% chase rate.
By the way, they lost again. The Yankees swept them, winning in extra innings 5-4. So the Yankees actually swept that homestand. They went 6-0, and they are now 39-15. When did the Mets play the Yankees?
Just like the Mets last homestand.
July, right? And Nimmo with one of his patented long at bats.
So
yeah, 6-0 homestands.
Yep, 12 straight wins.
It's a good time to be going to baseball games in New York. Also, we mentioned the Padres in Milwaukee. Jake Cronenworth had a 3-run homer in the top of the 10th. So San Diego trying to win 3 straight. Up 6-3 in the bottom of the 10th now. That San Diego offense has basically been Manny Machado and nobody else for most of the season. Off the fists, that's quite a waste by Nimmo.
Well, Nimmo's up there just really chopping away a little bit there, and they're frustrating Urias. Urias can't put them away.
Machado coming into today, 342, 9 homers, 32 RBIs, 983 OPS, but the Padres 13th in the league in runs scored, 14th in home runs, being carried by Machado and their pitching.
They need their other guy back.
Tatis has taken ground balls, and they hope to have him back in July. That's driven out to center field by Nimmo. Back goes Bellinger, easing back, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Well, that was a great at bat for Nimmo. 9 pitches, and then he drove that ball to center. But Bellinger makes the play for the second out. That's left. Carlos Carrasco opening the series in San Diego tomorrow night. Taijuan Walker Tuesday night. Chris Bassett Wednesday night against Snell, Darvish, and Minaya. And that would look like the toughest road to hoe, but really the Mets are missing the Padres' best 2 starters. It have been Musgrove and Gore. They brought Mike Clevenger back off the injured list today. Went 3 innings, coming back off Tommy John, and then he had some other issues with his arm. But they're going with 6 starters this time around. Curveball misses high to Marte, who homered for the only Met run in the 3rd inning, an opposite field drive. Curveball drops in for a strike, and it's 1-1. So since the Marte home run, Urias has retired 8 in a row. He's struck out only 1 over that span, but he's had some fine plays made behind him, particularly that Alvarez play in the last inning. And Marte gets jammed and fouls one off. 1-2.
Change up, stayed back, went right with it.
One-two coming, and Marte chases the changeup for strike 3, and that retires the side. 9 in a row retired by Urias. Halfway through, 2-1 LA. Little skate park action. Little half pipe.
That's in Venice Beach. My son Jordan, I used to take him to that skate park.
Where are the rails?
I don't need any rails. Oh, the rails to jump on.
Yeah.
Got to be there somewhere.
Trevor Williams back out for the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, he got the rail. He didn't do an ollie without a rail. Alvarez struck out his first time up and takes the changeup out of the strike zone. 1-1. Alvarez, Lux, and Betts 8-9-1 on the order against Williams, who went 5 innings for the first time in his last start against the Nationals. And Alvarez fouls one away. 1-2. Final in Milwaukee, Padres beat the Brewers 6-4 on the Jake Cronenworth 3-run homer in the 10th. So the Padres have come into their series against the Mets with a 3-game winning streak. Popped foul off the left side, that'll go out of play. San Diego now 33-21 on the year. One-two coming. This is with the slider. 2-2. There's your National League West with the Padres win. They're 2.5 back of the Dodgers. Giants beat the Marlins earlier today. Donovan Walton with a grand slam.
Boy,
So the Giants 5 games over.
Rockies just sunk, and the Arizona surprisingly playing a lot better ball.
Better than they were when the Mets faced them early in the season, that's for sure.
Pittsburgh beat Arizona today, though.
Yes. Zach Thompson shut him out for 5 innings.
Pittsburgh's had an unusual year. Pittsburgh now, against the Brewers, they're 0-6. The rest of their games are 24 and 22.
They're only 4 games under 500.
Derek Shelton's done a nice job.
Line the other way, and Alvarez has a base hit. Chased toward the line by Canha. Alvarez is going to try for 2, and now he thinks better of it and goes back. He was about halfway before he saw Canha have the ball, and he slammed on the brakes. Nice play by Canha to hold Alvarez to a single.
That's a play there. You got a player that's just been called up right on top of the plate. Went right with the pitch. You know, it forced the perfect throw to get you. You're leading off. But he opted to hold with a single. The throw was off. And Alvarez can run. I thought he should have tried for 2.
He was going. Yeah. And then he wasn't. Now Gavin Lux, the number 9 hitter, grounded out his first time up. And Lux skies one to right. Marte battling the sun. Side saddles it and makes the catch. So we've seen both right fielders maneuver themselves into position to beat the sun. And Marte does it successfully for the first out.
Well, you can see the shadows on the players, and their shadows are going towards right field. So the sun is over the third base dugout, making it a difficult sun field in right.
Well, now that other right fielder, Mookie Betts, will come to bat. That's 0 for 2 today, grounded to short, line to center. Why is Mookie Betts so difficult to pitch to? Well, if you throw him fastballs, his OPS is 1,031, which is in the top 10 in the league. If you throw him anything but fastballs, his OPS is 954, top 10 in the league. So basically, he's hitting everything.
Can't throw him anything.
And that's really been the case in this series. He's just hit everything hard.
Not even the kitchen sink.
I mean, yesterday he hit one so hard foul that Buck Showalter took out David Peterson in the middle of an at bat. Mookie Betts, AL MVP in 2018, inexplicably traded to the Dodgers, and it's been only to the Dodgers' benefit. Still only 29 years old. Three on the left side against Betts. And Williams trying to dot the outside corner, but missed 1-1. And the slider hit down the right field line, slicing toward the corner, and it's a foul ball. Didn't miss by much. That short corner and that low fence, always an inviting target.
Well, that's 2 now that have kind of sliced foul down the right field line. See the flags. The winds isn't much of a factor here today. Just a little breeze from foul pole to foul pole, left field foul pole to right.
The fence is only 4 feet high. You can tuck one over that fence that just wouldn't go out of any other ballpark because of the lack of height.
But it's 330 down that line, which is a good, a fair distance.
Now Williams ahead 1-2. And Betts pops one up. Shallow left center. Guillorme out. Canha in. Guillorme calling and making the catch.
Nice play.
Louis said he had it all the way, and he did. He basically called off the outfielders and said, It's all mine.
I'll tell you what, this is a nice play by Louis. You can track him right there. Nice call off on Nimmo. And that's another thing too. No, they're so familiar with each other. You get familiar with your outfielders. He knows that Nimmo likes to play a deep center field, and that's why he took charge.
I think Nimmo would have gotten there if he'd had to, but Guillorme had the easier play.
I just like there's no tentativeness, you know, just aggressive.
Right.
Went and got it.
Agreed.
So now 2 out. Here's Freeman, who had one of the fence in center field that Nimmo made a jumping catch on after he doubled in front of Canna in the first. And a nice pickup by Alonso to save Williams an error.
Well, that ball could have been down the right field line. Oh, well, actually, Louis is out there, but the runner certainly would have advanced. Nice play by Pete. That's not an easy hop.
Just thinking about Guillorme's play. You know, there's always going to be vulnerability in the defense. And for the Mets, because their outfielders play so deep, their middle infielders have to catch a lot of pop-ups that others don't.
And Lindor and Guillorme are particularly good at that. A lot of range going out to the outfield. Freeman's double in the first inning was his 20th 2-base hit of the year. He fouls back a high fastball, 1-1.
We're seeing a lot of high targets from with Nimmo behind the plate, and I agree. Freddie's a low ball hitter. He can hit the high ball too, but his happy area is below the belt.
We've seen this year with Trevor Williams, that he's very comfortable going four-seamer up in the zone. About to throw his 80th pitch of the day. And Freeman hits one toward the hole. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Alvarez going first to third. So Freeman finds a hole in the shift for his second hit of the day. Runners at first and third with 2 out, with Trey Turner coming up.
Doesn't
and
matter.
Jeremy Hefner coming out.
Doesn't matter if Freddie is in a Braves uniform or a Dodger uniform. He finds a hole in those shifts.
Wanted it upstairs again, and he got it upstairs, but Freddie gets on top of it.
Freddie actually hits for a higher average when they shift against him than when they don't. That's interesting.
Wouldn't that tell you?
Maybe don't.
I mean, that seems common sense to me, but
Williams has matched his season high with 80 pitches. Adonis Medina getting started in the Mets bullpen. And a huge at bat in this game, with the Dodgers up 2-1 in the 5th. Trey Turner is already 2 for 2, a 2-run homer and a single to center. Bats with first and third and 2 out. Ronnie, how do you go after Turner here?
Well, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. He wants to swing the bat so you can pitch on the fringes of the strike zone. That being said, with the way Will Smith's pitching, and there is a base open, I'd be very careful, extremely careful.
Catches the inside edge with a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Good up and in fastball.
And this is, you know, a game changer at bat for Williams and for the Dodgers.
And Turner chasing on a pitch way out of the strike zone. It's 0-2, and that certainly emphasizes your point.
Yeah, it showed me something, though. The first pitch was a fastball inside, which is now going to set up the sliders away. This one's a foot outside at least.
Yeah, he did not pick that up. Completely fooled.
Well, you can't throw him anything anywhere near the strike zone now.
You got to throw the same pitch.
This time he wouldn't bite. Turner got a breaking ball on a first pitch to hit out of the ballpark in the first inning, and then he singled to center field in the third.
This is a point where you don't want to get too cute. Sometimes as a pitcher, you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to throw one fastball in to get it back to another slider. Don't do that. Just stay with this pitch. and he'll bite at least one of the next two.
1-2 coming. Another slider. 2-2. See, but now you've lost any chance to throw that fastball.
Those,
right?
I mean, even though he swung at the second pitch that was way outside, the last two have really been non-competitive.
But you can argue the first one was too.
Sure, exactly.
So now it's 2-2 to Turner. Will Smith would be next. And Trey takes a fastball outside, and now it's a full count.
Good try.
Nice try is right. Try to sneak one by him on the outside corner.
Well, now you got into 3-2. Now what are you doing?
You're betting the house on the slider here, Gary.
I agree.
Freeman will be running. Alvarez at third. (3-2) coming to Trey Turner. Got him to chase the slider for strike 3. Trevor Williams fans Trey Turner his 5th strikeout of the day and keeps it a 2-1 game. Quite a performance by Trevor Williams, a season high 86 pitches, keeping the Mets in the game. 2-1 as we go to the 6th, and the Mets have the heart of the batting order coming up. Francisco Lindor takes a changeup down from Julio Urias. Lindor has walked and popped up. Alonso on deck, Davis behind him. That's only run of this game came on a Starling Marte home run in the 3rd. Since then, Urias has retired 9 in a row. And Lindor tops one foul on a changeup, and it's 1-1. New Spectrum, mobile, high-speed pitch.
What happened to the Spectrum Audio?
I didn't hear it.
2 days in a row.
Yes, you're right.
Maybe they're just shielding us from them. Lindor yanks one foul.
You know, that audio on that is like, reminds me, it kind of gives me the creeps. It's like spiders crawling across the screen.
Really?
Yeah.
I think of it like a pachinko machine.
Spiders to me. It gives me the creeps.
Lindor lines one into center field for a base hit. Well, Urias threw 3 changeups in a 4-pitch span to Lindor, and Francisco went down and got the last one and lined it into center field.
Yep, one too many. And this could get the ball rolling. Big Pete coming up. It's not in a, it's a good spot. I mean, he picked it off the ground, didn't get it away enough. But the Mets got something brewing here.
So the tying run at first with nobody out. That snaps a string of 9 in a row retired by Urias. The Dodgers have bullpen action going. Remember, we talked about Urias and the fact that he doesn't pitch deep into games. 91 has been his pitch high this year. And Evan Phillips, who was right in the middle of a heap of controversy last night, is up in the Dodger bullpen. Well, we did not get to talk to Buck Showalter today. There was a positive COVID case amongst the media covering the Mets, and so the Mets, exercising an abundance of caution, kept the clubhouse closed and did not make Buck available to the media before the game. So we didn't have a chance to ask him about the 9th inning last night and all the controversy about the Dodgers trying to use a position player to pitch. But suffice to say that Buck was right on top of it, whereas Dave Roberts said it was an oversight on my part, not knowing the rule. How that excuses the umpires is a whole nother thing. Up and away to Alonso, ball 1. If you were not awake for it last night, the Dodgers tried to bring in Zach McKinstry, a position player, to pitch in a 9-4 game in the 9th. There's a rule that went into effect last month that there has to be at least a 6-run margin before extra innings for a position player to be allowed to pitch. There was an 11-minute delay. McKinstry was allowed to stay in the game. Justin Turner, who came on the field, come out of the DH spot, wound up back in the dugout. So there was a question about how players could be used. There was a question about how the pitcher who eventually came in, Evan Phillips, was allowed to warm up. And let's just say Buck was not happy. Alonso's been up twice, flied out to left field both times.
2-0. Nail-biting pitch here for Urias.
And Pete Clymers went foul. Steve? Well, this was last night. McKinstry comes in to pitch. And Dave Roberts being informed by the umpires that you're not allowed to do that. And Buck exasperated that the Dodgers didn't know the rule, and then the bullpen coach Josh Bard upset because he thought that his pitcher should have had more time to warm up, which he eventually did have, as much time as he wanted. And Buck, I think, felt that's close to being a pickoff as Lindor was leaning the wrong way. I think Buck was of two minds about it. I think he knows that he doesn't want anybody to get hurt by not warming up, but at the same time, the Dodgers did not suffer any penalty from not knowing the rule. 2-1 to Alonso with J.D. Davis on deck. And Steve's got more on last night's proceedings. Steve?
Yeah, Gary, just to clarify whether or not the umpires knew the rule, Buck, after the game last night, said that the umpires did know the rule and that it was the Dodgers who asked them to call back to New York to just make 100% sure. And that's what was going on during the delay.
Right. I was not insinuating that the umpires didn't know the rule, but that they didn't know how to administer the rule.
Right.
And that was the problem. He pops one up on the right side. Freeman should have plenty of room. And he makes the grab for the first down. There's a big out for Urias, one away. This was Buck saying it has to be a 6-run lead.
Yeah.
Here comes Dave Roberts, and looks like he's going to make a pitching change. Going to bring in the right-hander with J.D. Davis coming up. So Urias at 90 pitches, one shy of his season high, and he will exit after 5 1/3. So Evan Phillips will be coming in, called to the bullpen, brought to you by Nissan. All right, Gary. Beautiful day in Los Angeles. No clouds. Getty Museum sitting high on the hill.
So, Gare, getting back to what happened last night, if the umpires knew the rule, there's Evan Phillips coming into the game. He pitched last night, as Gary mentioned. If the umpires knew the rules, as Buck stated, and maybe Buck's being a politician here, then why would they let Dave Roberts insist on them calling New York when they can say, hey, I know the rule, it has to be 6, I'm not calling New York?
I don't think the problem was whether it was 6 or not. I think the question was, McKinstry was announced into the game, so what happens to him? Does he immediately get taken out of the game? Are they allowed to leave him in the game? Because they were out of bench players at that point.
Yeah.
And then what happens with the pitcher? Is he allowed to warm up, or is he only allowed to throw his 8 from the mound? I think those are the issues that they had to clear up with New York, because I don't think they knew, and I'm not sure that the answers that they got were the right ones, but that's how it wound up being administered. They allowed McKinstry to stay in the game at third base, and they allowed Evan Phillips to have a full warm-up. So I think those ended up being the issues. J.D. Davis has walked and struck out. And he flies one out to right field. Mookie Betts again twisting in the sun, finds it, catches it.
Wow.
That was tough. Couldn't see it at first, located it, used 2 hands to make sure. 2 out.
Boy, right field is a real tough today. And you've got that wind. It's not blowing hard, but it's pushing the ball towards the right field line, towards the foul pole.
And Evan Phillips appreciates how tough that was for the 5-time Gold Glover to make that play in right field. Now there are 2 out. Tying run still at first for Mark Canha. One more piece about the rule last night, and you know, Dave Roberts made this point. He said that they're moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, this rule was originally scheduled to go into effect in 2020. They held it in abeyance because of the pandemic and the post-pandemic year. And it wasn't even in effect when this year began. Didn't go into effect until last month with very little fanfare. A strike. And if you look online and try and find the rule as codified, it's really hard to do. So I can understand that, you know, folks would get caught in between, but Buck knew the rule.
Plus last year, Dave Roberts had used Justin Turner in a 5-run game.
Right.
So it's like a perfect storm for him.
When it was legal.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
So we didn't get the memo. Or we forgot.
Or it slipped by.
Yes.
I don't think anyone got the memo. I think that's the issue.
I think there are more memos to be issued about how to administer a situation like that, because I have a feeling that nobody really thought through what should happen in those circumstances, and they need to codify that now.
Billable hours.
Canna had an infield hit in the second, grounded out in the fourth, 1 for 2. It was really bad luck, though, any way you slice it.
Yes, it was. 11 minutes plus bad luck.
At the tail end of a 3.5-hour game before a day game the next day. On the corner for a strike, so Phillips filling the strike zone, needs to head 0-2.
So, guys, here's the question I have, though. If Buck got a choice, if you're up by 5 runs, would you rather face the position player there or burn a bullpen arm?
Well, burn the bullpen arm. And Dave Roberts even said that he wanted to save Phillips so he'd have two innings today. Well, now Phillips comes in. He'll probably finish this inning, then he'll be done. And that changes the complexion of the rest of this game. Right?
Complexion of the competition. That's
right.
what it does.
Well, I mean, one day affects the next day, and that's why you put in a position player to begin with. I mean, I understand your point, Steve. You know, there's a possibility the Dodgers could rally from 5 runs down in the 9th. So you'd like to extend the lead against a position player. But I think the import on today's game is even greater. Canna hits one through the vacated space. He's got a base hit. Lindor will pull in at second. Not going to challenge the arm of Betts. And so the Mets have the tying run in scoring position with 2 out. Canna behind in the count 0-2. Takes it right through the open space on the right side.
2 strikes. Good 2-strike hitter as Canna is. Look at him going the other way. This is an inside out. It's a backup slider inside, and his whole intent. Look at that right side of the infield with 2 strikes. Just keep the line moving. This is something the Mets have done all year long. That ball's down the inner half, and he had no intention of pulling that ball, and now it's set up for Escobar to get a base hit. Here you got a tie ball game.
Escobar robbed of a hit on a fine play by Alvarez at third base his last time up. Now batting left-handed for the first time today. 2 out and 2 on. Mets down a run in the 6th. And a slider in for a strike, 0-1. This has been the rough side of the plate for Escobar, hitting just .209 as a left-hand batter.
Escobar is more of a power hitter from this side, has more of an uppercut swing from the left side.
And yet he's hit only 1 home run as a left-hand batter.
Good outfield arms for the Dodgers all the way around.
Hard to throw Lindor out on a base hit to the outfield, but you never know. And they're playing relatively shallow against Escobar. And the backdoor slider misses, and it's 2-1.
Taylor, the short side, has a very accurate arm. Bellinger, a great arm. Rookie charges the ball better than anyone in the game.
They're going to have a hard time throwing out the two outs. Yeah. They're going to have a hard time throwing out Lindor.
2-1 to Escobar. And he fouls back a fastball. He had a pitch to hit there, 2-2. Dodgers have a left-hander up in the bullpen now. It's Caleb Ferguson. Got the left hand hitting Guillorme on deck, so Either way, this could be Phillips' last batter. 2 out, 2 on, 2 and 2 to Escobar. And he yanks one foul. Slider low and in. Big at bat for Escobar, who's hitting just 160 this year with runners in scoring position. This would be a huge run for him to pick up. Lindor at second, Canha at first with 2 down. And Escobar goes down swinging on a high fastball. Second time he's been struck out on a fastball today. And Phillips works the Dodgers out of trouble in the 6th. Keeps it a 2-1 game. New museum in Southern California. We showed some images last night from the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. The 42 Jackie Robinson jersey that Spike Lee wore in Do the Right Thing. Little Bruce Lee.
Ooh. Into the Dragon.
Spike Lee's character name and Do the Right Thing.
Mookie.
Yes.
Adam Ottavino in for the 2nd straight day. 27 pitches last night. And misses well outside with his slider to Will Smith, 2-0.
Remember, last night, Ottavino missed with his slider a lot over the plate. Notice how he missed outside. Well, he's very much aware that he can't leave that slider over the middle. He got away with it last night a couple times.
He gets that slider in for a strike. Just seems though every outing is the same for Ottavino. His first few pitches he misses badly with that slider, and then he kind of figures out the range on it.
He gets himself into trouble and then he wiggles out.
Last night gave up an infield hit, then got the next 3 hitters with a couple of strikeouts. Fastball fouled off by Smith, and it's 2-2. Quite an outing for Trevor Williams. 2nd straight outing, he went 5 innings, gave up a 2-run homer to Trey Turner in the 1st, and then nothing else. 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 86 pitches. ERA holds steady of 3.58. On the ground toward the hole, cut off by Lindor, and he throws out Will Smith, 1 away. Shift paying off for the Mets there.
Really though, Gary, on that ground ball right there, if everybody was playing traditional position, it would have been a 6-3 on your scorecard anyway.
Right, but in the shift, you've got Guillorme and Lindor playing so close together that if you hit it between them at that pace, it's a pretty good chance somebody's going to get to it, right? If you hit it sharply enough, then you'll get through. Here's Justin Turner, who was thrown out on a great play by Escobar his last time up. That's lined toward the middle, and there's Guillorme to pick it off. And that was a base hit for 150 years.
Yes.
But not anymore. 2 outs.
Confound it.
The play that Escobar made against Turner in the 4th inning probably is the best play we've seen Eduardo make as a Met. Going behind the bag, into foul territory, planting, and then throwing a BB to first base.
You know, he's displayed a strong arm all year, but on that play, he was 10 feet in foul territory. He really threw it, just showed off his arm.
Bellinger thinking about bunting for a hit, and takes a slider at his feet for ball 1. Bellinger hit a long double to right in the 2nd inning, then he struck out in the 4th, 1 for 2. Mets 1 run, 4 hits. The Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. We're in the 6th. And Bellinger takes a fastball for a strike, 1-1. And there's a good slider upstairs. Bellinger, whether it's a fastball or a slider, he's going to have trouble getting to that pitch at that height. See more guys intentionally throwing breaking balls up in the strike zone, Ronnie, than we've ever seen before.
Yeah, Zach Wheeler does it as good as anyone in Philadelphia.
Zach pitched another good game last night. He's really gotten himself to where he was last year. Hey, at 11 o'clock, it's Geico Sports Night. Game 3 reaction. What did the Rangers do today?
I don't know.
They still playing? Anybody? Nobody wants to tell me. Rangers lost, I'm told.
That's why no one said anything.
That's why no. Gave up a goal with 40 seconds left in regulation. Okay, so it's 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Can't win them all. You only have to win 4 out of 7.
We got our guy in the field, Dauber, down now for the rest of the game.
Is he taking his sneakers off? At least unlace them now. 2-2 to Bellinger. He reaches for that one and fouls it off. I get worried about Steve. He's sitting out there in the sun.
And he doesn't have a hat on. He looks beet red.
I mean, he uses the 300 SPF sunscreen. Hi, Steve. We're talking about you.
Yeah, I hear. I hear. I'm doing fine.
No, you.
It's just one game, Steve.
You got a great seat, Steve. Every night you're.
I got a great seat. I feel fine, guys. Come on. The sneakers were a little gassed going to the West Coast. Finally caught up with them. I'll rest them. They'll be good to go for Tuesday.
Oh. I don't know how he hit that ball, but I might have hit him if he hadn't swung at it and made contact. Were you able to watch the end of the game, Steve?
Plead the fifth there, Gare. I was locked in on what's in front of me.
Okay. I know.
What's your iPad?
I know you take your job very seriously.
Yeah, right. Were you streaming?
I can't tell you what was in front of me.
Hey.
Whoa. Just a bit outside. Is that a changeup?
I think it was. He tried to turn it over. No, it was a breaking ball that he never got the grip on.
Wow. Good thing the Bull mascot wasn't back there. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat to Bellinger. And he pulls the slider foul. Ottavino got quickly through his first 2 hitters today after a 27 pitch inning last night. But Bellinger giving him a battle. Pitch number 10 coming up. And he gulfs one in the air to right field. In a few strides comes Marte, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 for Ottavino in the bottom of the 6th. On to the 7th, 2-1 LA.
It's Dodger Stadium. Mets trail the Dodgers 2-1 as we head to the 7th. And we only get to come to Dodger Stadium once a year, so we really want to give you back at home a real idea of what it's like to be around this park if you've never been. And so I want to continue talking about some of the memorabilia that I saw around the stadium. This, I think, was my favorite item on the suite level. There was an encased, thick, heavy winter jacket with the Brooklyn Dodgers B on it. And that is a jacket from the World War II era. There were travel restrictions that prevented the Dodgers from playing spring training games down in Vero Beach. So they had to hold spring training in Bear Mountain, New York, and they were given these very thick winter coats to play baseball in February as they were trying to get ready for the season.
Wow. To play, actually play and swing a bat with those heavy coats on? Wow.
Desperate times, desperate measures. Caleb Ferguson, his 3rd appearance of coming off Tommy John surgery. And he throws a fastball strike to Luis Guillorme as we start the 7th inning.
Yeah, he has not allowed a hit. He's only faced 5 batters so far.
Came in the other night. Got 2 outs, issued 2 walks. Guillorme has been up twice in this game, both times flied out to left field against Julio Urias. And he slashes one foul, and it's 0-2. Urias went 5 1/3, allowed a run on 2 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a home run, 90 pitches, lowered his ERA to 2.78. Evan Phillips came on, went 2/3 of an inning, no runs, 1 hit. And now it is Ferguson picking up from there. Dodgers used 7 pitchers in their loss last night. Breaking ball bounced foul. 0-2 to Guillorme. Tomas Nido on deck, then Brandon Nimmo for the Mets in the 7th. It's been an odd series offensively for the Mets. No runs, 3 hits on Thursday, 1 run, 5 hits on Friday. Last night, 9 runs and 13 hits. 1 run and 4 hits today. Stephen Nagosic up in the bullpen. And Brusdar Graterol is up for the Dodgers.
The Mets have had a lot of pesky at bats in this game. When they got 2 strikes on them, they've been fighting off some good pitches, making the pitcher work.
Guillorme takes the fastball in tight, 1-2. Dodgers are playing their outfield like Guillorme is a right-hand pull hitter. Huge space on the right field line.
Or more correctly, Gary, as an opposite field hitter.
Yeah. Do the same. He just got a piece of that curveball to stay on the at-bat. Guillorme does not strike out much. More walks than strikeouts this year. He was one of the few who accomplished that last year as well.
I wonder if he's got a little blister in there to get a couple bands of tape around his fingers.
1-2 from Ferguson, and it's bounced out to Turner at short. Makes the running toss. Stretch by Freeman. 1 out. 1 out and nobody on. Nido coming up. We're going to check in with the studio. Gary Apple has a game break. Gary. So some hard feelings going on at Coors Field. Taunton. 15-yard penalty.
Throw the flag.
There's Tomas Nido, who's walked and flied out. And he takes a curveball down from Ferguson, ball 1. Mets have had some chances in this game. They loaded the bases with 2 out in the 2nd. But Urias got Nimmo to fly out. They got 2 on in the 6th. But Evan Phillips struck out Escobar. One and 1 to Nido.
Notice that front foot of Nido. Very peculiar. Kind of on his toes. Not on the balls of his feet, on his toes, it seems.
Looks uncomfortable, Keith.
Yeah.
Why would somebody do that?
I don't know. I would like to know who taught him that. Someone, when you're a young kid, you're taught how to hit. And I always find it interesting with the little idiosyncrasies in style and stance. They had to be taught somewhere, and I wouldn't know the reasoning.
And he strikes out on a high fastball. So Ferguson has gotten the first 2 outs in the 7th.
Chased a high one here.
Center fielder number 9, Brandon Nimmo.
Ferguson hides the ball pretty well for the big guy.
Ferguson first came up with the Dodgers in 2018, had 3 pretty good years out of the bullpen before Tommy John surgery waylaid him. Missed all of last year, and now just his 3rd appearance this year. Here's Nimmo, who's gone 0 for 3 today, hit it hard his last time up, lining out to center field. He had a 9-pitch at bat against Urias in that 5th inning before making it out, but those quality at bats where there's no payoff.
Interesting that Lux is around 15 feet into the outfield, and Nimmo can fly down that line.
Ball out of the strike zone, 2-0.
He hits a chopper. Lux is going to have to come in hard to get Nimmo.
If Nimmo gets on, you got Marte on deck, and they've got Graterol already in the bullpen. So this is probably Ferguson's last batter either way. He's behind on Nimmo, 2-0. And Brandon skies one foul off the left side. And that'll go into the crowd, 2-1.
Watch the left hand of Ferguson. He will cup that ball, but just ever so quickly comes out of it and then fires it to the plate. In our day, Rick Sutcliffe was the guy that cupped it probably better than anyone I've ever seen, but he did it so slowly.
Pretty good Dodger right-hander who did that, named Don Drysdale.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, Sutcliffe was a Dodger right-hander for a while himself.
Yes, he was. Rookie of the year with the Dodgers.
He and Tommy had a disagreement.
Oh, they're major, and that's why they shipped him off to Cleveland.
Up and into Nimmo, and Ferguson behind 3-1.
If you don't know what cupping is, what they do is they wrap it with that wrist, and it's almost behind. It is behind them there, and they just hold it on that perch and then come out and deliver. They tried to teach you not to do that in today's game.
Nimmo with 3-1 advantage, has one home run against the lefty this year. And he fouls away a fastball, and it's 3-2.
Why do they teach you not to do it? They think it puts undue strain on the front of your shoulder. If you just at home now just cup your hand behind you, and you'll feel as you come out of it, you can feel it right in your front shoulder.
I'm trying it now. I feel it in my shoulder, my biceps, my elbow, and my forearm.
By the way, you got a bad shoulder.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
You're like, oh, it does hurt.
3-2 coming, and Nimmo fouls away a fastball and stays in the at bat. Not in any shape doing any pitching or cupping.
Another at bat with a lot of fouling off and staying in the at bat. You know, the Mets only have 4 hits today, but nonetheless, they've been difficult outs.
3 singles and a Marte home run. All the Mets offense today. 7th pitch of the at bat coming to Nimmo, and Brandon is hit by the pitch, and that one hurt.
And I wonder if that is his bad hand wrist.
Well, he's been battling a sore right wrist. He got a cortisone shot in it last weekend, and that one really stung.
Well, the Mets are just taking a lot of. That got him good.
Nimmo hit for the 2nd time in this series.
He's got some padding on top of his batting gloves to protect, but I think that hit above the padding, more in the wrist, maybe forearm area.
That got him on the fingers, huh?
More the back of the hand than the wrist.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
35 times now the Mets have been hit this year, and that leads the world.
And Brandon does not show pain, so he's hurting. That hurt him. What a trooper.
And he is staying in this game. Meanwhile, Dave Roberts is heading out to the mound. He's going to bring in the right-hander to face Marte, I think. Right now he's just talking to Caleb Ferguson.
I got to think he'll make the move.
Graterol is ready, and the bullpen gate is opening, and he is coming in. So with the tying run at first and 2 out, Marte coming up. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. We'll be right back. Now Brandon Nimmo clearly in some pain as he stands at first base after getting hit on the back of the right hand. It hurts so much he could barely pull the oven mitt on to his left hand because his right hand was hurting so badly.
Well, Graterol appeared in last night's game, gave up a hit to Marte.
And then later a 3-run homer to Alonso. Tying run at first with 2 out, and Marte takes a slider off the plate for ball 1. Marte is responsible for the only Met run in this game, an opposite field home run against Urias in the 3rd, his 7th of the year. Straightaway in the infield and the outfield against Marte. And a check swing foul on a fastball, and it's 1-1. Last night, Alonso hit a fastball that was officially clocked at 99.9. So you round it up to 100.
Yeah.
The fastest pitch any Met has hit for a home run since they started tracking it with StatCast in 2015. So you know Graterol throws hard. But Marte has hit the fastball this year. He's had more problems with the breaking ball. And he gets a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Graterol, the times that we've seen him in this game now, not this game, this series, he pitches up a lot upstairs for someone that's got a hard sinker.
1-2 coming, and the slider low and in, 2-2. The home run was the 2nd that Graterol has allowed this year, and only the 6th in his career in 88 games. That's how much of an aberration that Alonso home run was. And he took about a half a swing.
He did.
It was. If you weren't with us late last night, it was a thing of beauty, but so unusual in the way Pete hit that ball. But, you know, 100 coming in and 100 plus going out. And Marte fouls back a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Caleb Ferguson faced 3 batters, retired the first 2 before hitting Nimmo and giving way to Graterol, who was just 23 years old, made his big league debut at the age of 19 in 2019. 2-2, and he struck him out with a slider. Graterol comes in to strike out Marte and end the inning. Time for Audi's electrifying play of the week. It came today. Eduardo Escobar robbing Justin Turner.
Well, look at that strong arm across the diamond there. 10 feet into foul territory. Displaying a powerful arm and accurate. Nice play.
2-1 LA as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Steven Nagosic takes over the pitching for New York. Meanwhile, Brandon Nimmo staying in the game after getting hit on the right hand by a pitch. Got a little wrap on that now.
I was watching him throw, playing catch with Canna. It was a little delicate throwing.
That wrap is from his wrist, which was the concern before he got hit by the pitch, more on the back of the hand.
There's Nagosic's numbers. Only 1 run allowed in his 10 innings of work. That was a home run to Taylor
2 nights ago. First run that Nagosic's given up this year. Taylor today has flied out and struck out, 3 for 13 in this series. Dodgers got both their runs in the first inning on a Trey Turner 2-run homer. Trevor Williams went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits. Adam Ottavino a 1-2-3 inning, and now Nagosic. Stephen, who was a college teammate of David Peterson's at the University of Oregon. Getting his first substantial work with the Mets. First came up in 2019. And Taylor pops one a mile high into shallow right. Guillorme was over in the shift. Marte coming in, and Marte gets there to make the catch. So Taylor retired one away. 2 swings of the bat in this game have been everything. Trey Turner 2-run homer in the first. Starling Marte solo homer in the third. Mets have left 7 on base. They've had opportunities, but yet to crack through. Trying to gain a split in this series after losing the first 2 and winning last night. Here's Eddie Alvarez, who had a base hit to left field his last time up. And takes a cutter inside from Nogosek, ball 1. Mets are heading down the coast to San Diego after the game today. Fly ball out to left, and Canha's right there waiting. 2 out. The Dodgers will be heading to Chicago to play the White Sox starting Tuesday night. There's the road ahead. Tomorrow, start the series in San Diego. Manny Machado's been great. The rest of that Padre offense has struggled. Their pitching has been fantastic. Then it's 3 games in Anaheim. Angels play the Red Sox before the Mets, trying to snap that 11-game losing streak. And then the Mets go home to play the Brewers, who are sitting in first place in the East despite losing their last 3 to San Diego. Grounded down to first. Hop comes up for Alonso. He drops it, but recovers in time to get it to Nogosek. That retires Gavin Lux. 6-pitch inning for Stephen Nogosek. On to the 8th we go. Dodgers 2, Mets 1. All right, thanks very much, Gary. Francisco Lindor leads off in the 8th inning against Brusdar Graterol. Came on to get the last out in the 7th and leans back Lindor with a cutter, ball 1. Lindor 1 for 2 and a walk and a single to center field on a 1-2 pitch his last time up. A changeup from Julio Urias. Now batting left-handed, and he takes inside from Graterol, 2-0.
Interesting. The Dodgers, my memory serves me right, they don't use Graterol like this a lot, where they have him come get some outs, sit down, and come back out for the next inning.
Well, again, that's a consequence of having had to use an extra bullpen arm last night. Alex Vesia is up in the bullpen. Right-hand hitters are following Lindor. And Lindor drives one down the right field line. Over comes Betts toward the corner. He can't get it. And it hops into the stands for a ground rule double. Francisco Lindor hitting one out of the reach of Mookie Betts. And he doubles to start the 8th inning. And the Mets have the tying run in scoring position.
Thought Betts for a second was going to break his heart.
Well, he fell behind 2-0 here. He got the barrel out, Lindor.
Betts normally catches everything, but he couldn't quite get to that one. And now what do you do with Pete Alonso? Do you pitch to him? Do you put the go-ahead run on base?
I mean,
no. Pitch to him.
If memory serves you right, it was just a little while ago that Graterol gave up a linear to Pete.
Lindor needs a special glove for his hand. Remember, he's protecting that fractured finger on his right hand, so the bat boy brings that out to him.
Ron, as you as a pitcher, would you be a little upset with that?
No, I can't get too upset because you got a big out that you need to get here. But I want to see if a hitter hits your best pitch on the outside corner of the right center field wall, you have to then get that sinker to come inside.
Well, rematch.
Pete could look in there, first pitch.
Pete's 0 for 3 today. Flied out twice and then popped up to Freeman his last time up. And Alonso drills one toward the left field corner. That ball is down and off the base of the wall. Lindor comes in with a tying run. Pete's trying for 2. Taylor's throw to second. Not in time. Pete Alonso with an RBI double to tie the game at 2. Pete Alonso strikes again against Brusdar Graterol. First pitch RBI double, and this game is tied in the 8th.
Ronnie, you said pitch in, and he threw him a slider, and he hangs it. That just stayed inside, and he's lucky that Pete didn't lift this. So what a series Pete is having. What a year.
RBI number 54 for Alonso. His 7th in this series.
Wow.
And now the go-ahead run at second with nobody out for J.D. Davis. He's got to try to get that ball to the right side against Graterol. And he hits one to the right side. Nicely done by J.D. Lux throws him out. Productive out for Davis. Alonso at third with 1 out.
Smells like winning baseball to me. Wow. Very nice by J.D.
High fives all around. And now it'll be up to Mark Canha to try and get that lead run home.
He's congratulating himself first.
Doesn't go unnoticed.
Well,
so now the infield will come in. Canha's already got 2 hits today. They played the shift against him last time and he rolled one through the right side. This time they're playing him straight up with the infield in. Mets were fighting uphill all day after Trey Turner's home run in the first inning, and they finally tied here in the 8th, and now with a chance to take the lead. And Canha takes inside, and Will Smith looking down at Alonso, who was not that far off the bag.
You know, I was talking about the outfield arms before. You guys reminded me with 2 outs and Lindor, they probably aren't going to throw anyone out, but they come into play now with Pete on third if there's a sacrifice fly situation.
And Canha takes a strike on the inside edge, a slider.
Didn't have to be.
Oh boy, that's a 2-0. It's one. Instead, it's 1-1. That was a looked like a pitch might have been inside.
Canha's been outstanding at getting a runner in from third to less than 2 outs. 6 out of 7 this year, hitting .333 with runners in scoring position. Just the guy you want up in this kind of situation. And he takes one in the dirt. A cutter from Graterol, 2-1. Been a rough 24 hours for Graterol. Gave up the home run to Alonso last night. Now giving up a pair of doubles here in the 8th. And Canha fouls back the fastball, and now it's 2-2.
That was the pitch right there. Good cut, just missed it.
Eduardo Escobar waiting on deck. Each team now with 2 runs and 6 hits. Alonso's now driven in 16 runs in 11 career games at Dodger Stadium. Just loves playing here. Graterol needing a strikeout. 2-2 to Canha. And Marcus hit by the pitch.
Jeez.
Second batter hit in the last 2 innings.
Clueless.
That was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and Canha is drilled.
My goodness.
36 Mets hit by pitches this year.
Really?
So now, if you're the Dodgers, how are you going to play your defense?
Got to play it in. Can't let the go-ahead run come in. It's the 8th inning.
But you don't have a speedster in Escobar at the plate.
Escobar runs better than you think.
And you don't have a speedster at third base. Maybe you play 1 step back. I don't know.
I like the way they're doing it right now.
Okay.
Most of the way in, but they could still turn 2 where they are.
Right.
First and third and 1 out. Tie game, 8th inning. And Escobar watches wide, ball 1. Escobar has had a couple of opportunities in this game. He came up with 2 men on in the 2nd inning and struck out. He came up with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th inning and struck out. Now he gets another opportunity here in the 8th. And Escobar swings and misses at a cutter, 0-1. Ball and a strike, excuse me. Braves held on to beat the Rockies 8-7. Edwin Diaz up in the bullpen in the 8th inning. Buck has not gone to Diaz in the 8th inning yet this year. He has talked about using Diaz in the 8th and then using somebody else in the 9th on occasion when the opportunity presents, and with the top of the batting order due up for the Dodgers, this might be that time. 1-1. Escobar lays off, 2 balls and a strike. I mean, the Dodgers have such a top heavy lineup that you want your best pitcher against Betts, Freeman, and Turner. And now the Mets hoping to get Diaz a lead. 2-1 to Escobar. And that's in tight, ball 3. Luis Guillorme waiting on deck. They've got the left-hander Vesia ready in the bullpen. So this might well be Graterol's last batter.
And no right-handed bench for the Metsies.
Alonso the lead run at third. Canha at first with 1 out. 3-1 to Escobar, and he fouls one away. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 3-2.
Graterol gets more movement when he backs off the fastball.
I agree.
Ron. That was a good sinker.
I agree. Has not been as effective here in this inning after sitting down.
Struck out Marte to end the 7th, but he's given up 2 doubles and hit a batter in the 8th. Now it's 3-2. Canha at first. Will he be moving? No. That's pulled down the line, foul. Too much threat of a strikeout to put Canha in motion. But you'd love to, just to stay out of the double play. Again, the 3-2. And Escobar nubs one foul. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming from Graterol to Escobar. And he wastes that one away. Just got a piece of that 98-mile-an-hour sinker. Police helicopter just flew by.
Dodger fans.
Another long at bat. Ninth pitch coming. 3-2. And Escobar fouls away another fastball. And the battle continues.
You're talking about this, Keith, all game long, right? Having these Mets hitters taking some tough ABs.
Graterol's got to gear up for another. And Escobar hits one deep to right field. Back goes Betts to the warning track. He's got room to make the catch. Tagging is Alonso. He comes home with the lead run, and the Mets are in front for the first time today. Eduardo Escobar with the sacrifice fly. The Mets have scored twice in the 8th inning, and they lead it 3-2.
What a gutsy at bat.
Terrific at bat.
Pitch at bat for Escobar. He drives in the lead run with a sacrifice fly, and the Mets poke their nose in front.
Slider looked like, or was it a sinker, Ron?
Breaking ball.
Yep.
Breaking ball.
Just a terrific at bat.
Graterol out, Vesia in. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. We'll be right back to LA. That's as good an at bat as Eduardo Escobar's had all year long.
Needed it.
He really did.
Team needed it. He needed it. They almost hit it out of the ballpark.
Now Alex Vesia comes in to try and get the third out in the 8th.
He's got the great stuff, and he loves his fastball. Look at those 22 Ks in 16 innings. Straight over the top. Firm.
Throws his fastball 60% of the time. Comes in to face Luis Guillorme with a runner at first and 2 out. And Guillorme takes a fastball up and in for ball 1. Luis, a rare 0 for 3 tonight. Twice has flied out, grounded out his last time up. Back-to-back doubles by Lindor and Alonso. An advancing ground out by J.D. Davis. And Escobar getting the run in with a sac fly. It's doing the little things necessary to get the lead run home here in the 8th. And now it appears as though Buck Showalter is going to go with Edwin Diaz in the 8th inning, with the Dodgers due to send up the top of the batting order. Their best 3 hitters, Betts, Freeman, and Trey Turner. And Buck has talked about this, not necessarily using Diaz for a 6-out save, but using him against the best part of the batting order.
Correct.
If that comes up in the 8th.
And Ronnie, you said it in the beginning, it's the top heavy lineup, the Dodger lineup.
It's the lane for Diaz.
One and one to Guillorme, and slider out of the strike zone. 2-1. J.D. Davis with the productive out, getting that lead run over to third. Goes as an 0 for 1 in the box score, but it goes as a team play. Fastball spiked low and away, and it's 3-1. Tomas Nido waiting on deck. Dodgers nursed the lead for most of the day before the Mets took the lead here in the 8th. Now Guillorme trying to extend the inning. Has a 3-1 advantage against the left-hander. And Luis takes up and in ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on.
That is not going to make your manager happy when you bring in a left-hander to get a left-handed out and you wind up walking him.
Catcher number 3, Tomas Nido.
So now Nido, who's gone 0 for 2 in a walk today. Well, you can't overlook the job that Trevor Williams did today.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping the Mets in the game.
You take away that one pitch, the 2-run home run. Looking at a W.
Ottavino and Nagosic each with a scoreless inning to keep the Dodgers at bay. And now the Mets have the lead. And here's Nido trying to extend it. And takes a slider low and in for ball 1. Well, it's Betts, Freeman, and Turner coming up. And that's why it's Diaz up in the 8th inning. Canha at second, Guillorme at first with 2 down. Fastball outside, 2-0. And Vesia, who had walked only 4 batters in 16 innings this year, having trouble throwing strikes today. Last year, he walked 22 in 40 innings, so he had really dropped his walk total early this season, but struggling with control today. Brandon Nimmo got hit on that right hand last time up, waiting on deck. And Nido skies one foul, 2-1. Tomas has had one opportunity with a runner in scoring position today, and he drew a walk. Still hitting .364 this year with runners in scoring position. Probably didn't have that on your dance card.
No. Boy, this would be a clutch 2-out knock here.
Two one coming, and he lifts that one foul. 2-2. If we mention that it's a nice thing that the Dodgers are wearing their pristine, white, traditional home uniforms today, after looking like a bunch of blueberries last night on the night they honored Gil Hodges. 2 out, 2 on, 2 and 2 to Nido. Vesia takes a look at Canha. Nobody moving to cover. Lux is shaded over that way, but not overshifted.
Canha's not going anywhere. That Lux just wants to hold his position. Doesn't want to be jockeying around.
Now the 2-2. And Nido lines it into right center field for a base hit. Canha around third. He'll come in to score. Guillorme goes to third. Tomas Nido comes through with a 2-out, 2-strike hit. And the Mets now lead it 4-2. Big hit for Nido.
Big hit for the Mets. High fastball out of the strike zone, away. And Nido gets all over it. Canha can just, he can downshift right there if he wants. And Guillorme, no doubt, going to third, first to third.
Well, Vesia came in and walked the left-hand hitter, and then Nido burns him for an RBI hit. Now it's Nimmo with first and third and 2 out, and Guillorme dancing down the line from third and drawing Vesia's attention.
Guillorme, I'm sorry, Nido a chance of redemption here. Not redemption, get even. Got hit on the hand. Boy, this is another run out there, a big run to drive in.
Nimmo's 0 for 3 today and was in a lot of pain after getting hit in the 7th inning, but stayed in. And Vesia misses low, ball 1. Nimmo the 8th man up in the inning. It all began with Lindor's double into the right field corner. Alonso doubled into the left field corner to drive him in and tie it. Davis and Canha ground out and a hit batsman, and then Escobar drove in the go-ahead run. Vesia came in, walked Guillorme, and then Nido with the base hit to make it a 2-run lead. And Nimmo takes up and in, and Vesia really struggling. 2-0.
Almost like another one up and in.
There is nobody up behind Vesia in the Dodger bullpen, so if Nimmo gets on, he's going to have to stay in and face Marte, who's already homered off a left-hander today. That's now with 4 runs and 7 hits on the afternoon. Nimmo in an advantageous spot here, 2-0. And he gulfs one in the air to left. Should be easy for Taylor. And that retires the side, but the Mets put up a 3 spot in the top of the 8th to grab the lead. To the bottom of the 8th, 4-2 New York. Recently, SNY Play Ball presented by Chick-fil-A partnered with the Mets to deliver the experience of a lifetime for 8-year-old Sean McDonald, making Sean's dream come true, meeting his favorite players, stopping by the booth, and even throwing out the first pitch. You can see the full story on Geico Sports Night tonight at 11 p.m. right here on SNY. What a nice kid.
Yeah.
Tomas Nido, another big hit with a runner in scoring position. He's now hitting .391 with runners in scoring position. The big news here, Edwin Diaz coming in to pitch the 8th inning against the top of the Dodger batting order with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Trey Turner with a 2-run lead. And Betts takes a fastball for a strike at 100 miles an hour.
Love the out of the box thinking here. Pitch your best against their best late in the game.
And somebody else can pitch the 9th if need be. Slider misses to Betts, a ball and a strike. Betts is 0 for 3 today. Last time up, Guillorme with a nice running catch of a pop-up to retire him. Betts has a home run in 4 career at-bats against Diaz. Edwin's first appearance in this series. And that one's up and in and forces Betts to vacate.
That
2 Mets hit in the last 2 innings. Diaz comes up and into Betts.
That was some serious chin music. And I don't think that was intentional. I don't know.
Not necessarily trying to hit him.
He's setting up away. And we know that Diaz can lose control. The ball can get away from him.
It was chin high.
Woo.
And then he throws one by him, and it's 2-2.
Intentional or not intentional? Who cares?
That's the same effect.
It's
right?
right.
He didn't want to hang in there on that slider, did he?
2-2. And he misses with the slider. Full count. Freddie Freeman on deck. 2-run lead. Last thing you want to do is be walking the leadoff hitter. Three-two coming. Popped it up. Shallow left field. Canha coming in and toward the line. 1 out. So Diaz wins that battle. Stuck with the slider after that one fastball buzzed by Betts and got him to pop up the shallow left for the first out.
You feel in some ways that the slider, he has better control of that than his fastball at times.
So now it's Freddie Freeman, who is 2 for 3 today, a single and a double, and the only time he was retired, Nimmo made a jumping catch against the fence in left center. Freddie, a home run in 5 career at bats against Diaz. And Edwin throws a slider under his bat, 0-1. Diaz last pitched on Wednesday in the last game of the homestand against the Nationals, a 1-2-3 inning in a non-save situation. And another slider, and Noah nicked Nito. And he comes up hobbling, rubbing that right hand. Good to go. Oh, 2 to Freeman. And the slider misses down, 1-2. Trey Turner waiting on deck. Craig Kimbrel getting up in the Dodger bullpen. One-two coming to Freeman. Golfs one out to left field. Canha is there. 2 out. 2 batters, 2 fly balls to left, 2 out for Diaz, and now he'll face Trey Turner with the bases empty.
Steady diet of backdoor sliders, outside corner sliders.
Number 6, Trey Turner.
Trey Turner gave the Dodgers the early lead in this game with a 2-run homer off Trevor Williams in the first inning, and the Mets have held the Dodgers at bay since. In fact, the last 9 Dodgers have been retired now since Freeman singled in the 5th. And Turner has to turn out of the way of an inside slider. Ball 1. Trey is 0 for 5 in his career against Diaz with 3 strikeouts. And takes a fastball at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-1. So who gets the 9th? Will it be Lugo? He pitched an inning yesterday.
I think it's going to be Lugo.
How about an out right here for 13 pitches?
And then send him back out. Oh, another one inside. That fastball made Turner squirm out of the way. 2-1. So both Betts and Turner have had to escape trouble.
He drops down and gets a little lower in his delivery, and that ball just runs around him.
Now Nito moves away, and the slider in for a strike, and it's 2-2. Same thing he did to Betts. Up and in fastball, followed by the slider.
Everything in your being wants to stay in there, but it's hard to.
2-2 coming. Got him looking. Side retired. Edwin Diaz drops in a couple of sliders. Trey Turner goes down looking and barks about it to John Bacon. We go to the 9th. Mets 4, Dodgers 2. Tomorrow night the Mets head down the coast This is going down the coast, right?
Yes.
We're in California, so the ocean's on the right. You're going south.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Going in the right direction. Tomorrow night, Mets in San Diego against the Padres. 9 o'clock the coverage. Carlos Carrasco opens the series against Blake Snell right here on SNY.
I would take the 5 instead of the Pacific Coast Highway. That takes a long time.
Be interested to see how the bus goes.
Yeah, right.
Craig Kimbrel comes in with his team trailing.
Well, Kimbrel in the game to try to hold it to a 2-run deficit for the Dodgers.
We saw Edwin Diaz and Buck Showalter talking in the dugout after Edwin came off following that 1-2-3/8. Seth Lugo is up in the bullpen. We'll see how Buck decides to play it, if Diaz goes back out there to start the 9th or if he hands it to Lugo. Meanwhile, the Mets look to extend their lead with Starling Marte up against Kimbrel, and he drives one out to left field. Over toward the line comes Taylor, and he's there to make the grab, 1 out. This was the conversation. What's he saying?
Well, I thought really it wasn't Buck who was delivering any message. I think that Diaz was trying to tell him, I'm good if you need me to go. But I think Buck's going to go with Lugo.
You know, if it's a hard call, right? Diaz hasn't pitched since Wednesday, so he's certainly got enough in the tank to go 2 innings. But if you work him 2 innings today, do you lose him for the next 2 days?
Probably.
Right. And that's got to be the consideration.
And that's why I got to believe he's not going back out there. And
I think the original plan was for him not to go back out there.
Right. And giving Diaz the explanation, the reasoning behind it.
Lindor got this whole thing started in the 8th inning with a double into the right field corner. Came home to score the tying run on Alonso's double, and the Mets then add 2 more runs to take the lead.
Everyone has to do their part. Diaz's part was a big part, and that's to get through those 3 hitters at the top of the Dodgers lineup.
So in the 9th now, the Dodgers will have Will Smith, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger. Not exactly an easy row. And Lindor fouls one back, and it's 1-2. So obviously the Mets have a lot more work to do in this game. They need to get 3 more outs. But it has been 15 years since the Mets last won a game at Dodger Stadium where they trailed going into the 8th inning. You got to go all the way back to 2007, what we lovingly refer to as the Chip Ambriz game.
That's right.
Mets were down 4-2 after 7, tied it with a run in the 8th, a run in the 9th, and Chip Ambriz got an RBI hit in the 10th, which turned out to be his only hit as a Met, and the Mets won the game 5-4. Lindor strikes out for the 2nd out.
Chip Ambriz, Keith, from Beaumont, Texas.
Really?
He went 1 for 3 in his Mets career, with his only hit coming here at Dodger Stadium, a base hit to center field that drove in the winning run in the 10th inning 15 years ago. Here's Alonso, RBI double that tied this game in the 8th inning. 7 RBIs in this 4-game series, 54 now for the year to lead the National League. Mets are playing their 56th game. So he's on a pace for about 160 RBIs.
He just keeps doing it.
And about 46 or 47 home runs. And a fastball on the corner. Nice pitch by Kimbrel to get ahead 0-2.
Good strike.
That pitch has worked for 100 years right there.
Yeah, the Red Sox won today. They're 500, Ronnie.
Yep. Red hot going into Anaheim.
It's been a long climb. They beat the A's 5-2 to sweep that series. Poor A's, man. Here's the 0-2. Now back on the weekend that they celebrated the 1972 World Series champions 50-year anniversary, they get blitzed.
At home, they are 7-23.
No.
But who knows about it? Nobody's really showing up. I mean, the Mets have 2 of their best players.
Yeah.
Bassett and Canna. I threw in Marte in that mix too. Taking high 1 and 2, although he wasn't in Oakland very long.
Four-game series here, almost 200,000.
I just wonder if Oakland's going to wind up in Las Vegas.
With the Raiders?
Yep.
Going to move the whole city. 1-2 coming. Swing and a miss. Got him with a curveball. And Kimbrel forges a 1-2-3 top of the ninth. Now we go to the bottom of the ninth. Looks like Lugo's coming in for the save. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and the coverage is of the Mets closer of the day, Seth Lugo. Edwin Diaz pitched the 8th, and it's Lugo who gets the 9th.
Lugo pitched yesterday's ball game. Those are his Nissan numbers. Gave up a hit and had a strikeout.
Hitting for his 3rd save of the year. He'll get Will Smith, Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger in the bottom of the 9th. Mets scoring 3 runs in the 8th inning to grab the lead. Showalter going with the unconventional move of bringing his closer in to pitch the 8th because the Dodgers have their best hitters up, and now he'll rely on his setup man Lugo to get the save in the 9th. Will Smith is 0 for 3 today, 3 ground ball outs, 1 for 9 in this series. And Lugo starts him off with a fastball for a strike, 0-1.
Shift is on. Play to pull Will Smith. It worked in his previous at bat.
Smith 0 for 3 against Lugo and takes a curveball out of the strike zone, 1-1. Mets bullpen has thrown up 3 perfect innings. Ottavino got the 6th, Nagosic the 7th, Diaz the 8th, and now Lugo in the 9th. Fly ball out to right field, hit well. Back goes Marte on the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. An opposite field home run for Will Smith to make this a 1-run game. Sixth home run of the year for Will Smith. And it makes that Tomas Nido hit look ginormous.
Yes. Another ball away, fastball away, and went right with it.
Will Smith, his entire career, 7th inning on, amazing with clutch home runs.
Now it's Justin Turner in a 1-run game. And Justin takes fastball for a strike. Turner's hit 2 balls hard. Great play by Escobar, going into foul territory and throwing him out, and then he lined out his last time up. Slider off the plate, a ball and a strike.
Little big leg kick from Smith there, and no overswing. On, look how on top of the plate he is. So he can really cover that outside corner.
3rd home run allowed by Lugo this year. And he comes up and into Turner, 2 balls and a strike. Cody Bellinger waiting on deck. And the curveball bounced foul. And now it's 2-2.
Hung that one inside.
It's still 2-1. That's why he got away with it.
Two coming to Turner. Ground ball past the pitcher. Right there, Guillorme positioned perfectly to throw out Justin Turner. 1 out.
Boy, that's a base hit over 100 years. We've said it a million times, but it's 1 out in the 9th.
That's 2 of them for Turner today.
That's right.
Yep. Lined out to Guillorme in the same spot his last time up. So now 1 out for Bellinger, who doubled back in the 2nd. Since then, he struck out and flied out. He has a home run in his career against Lugo, 2 for 5. And first pitch curveball misses inside for ball 1. Full shift on against Bellinger with the Mets in the triangle. Guillorme playing out in shallow right field. And that curveball bends over the plate for a strike, 1-1. Bellinger 2 for 14 in this series. And he swings through a fastball at 97 miles an hour from Lugo, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, that might be the fastest fastball Lugo's thrown all year.
Chris Taylor on deck. 1-2 coming to Bellinger. Curveball outside, 2-2. Lugo wasting no time. 2-2 coming. And he fouls it off. Slider running in on him. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You got to stay away from that spot down below the belt. So how do you counter that? Fastball upstairs, or you bounce a curveball, one or the other.
That pitch low in the strike zone was the one he homered against Bassett. 2-2 coming. Curveball bounced foul up the first baseline. And Bellinger, who had a very long at bat his last time up against Ottavino in the 6th, fouling off pitch after pitch. He's got another one going here.
He needs to go up the ladder here.
7th pitch of the at bat coming to Bellinger. Bouncing ball into the shift. Guillorme on the outfield grass. Quick throw. Got it. 2 out. So after giving up the home run to Will Smith, Lugo gets a couple of ground ball outs, and now the Dodgers are down to their final out with Chris Taylor coming up.
Number 3, Chris Taylor.
Taylor is 0 for 3 today. 2 fly balls and a strikeout. 1 for 5 in his career against Lugo. That one was a home run. 2 out, nobody on, last of the ninth. And a first pitch curveball hit in the air to left. Over toward the corner goes Canha. Into the shadows near the wall, and foul. It's a foul ball.
Oh.
It just barely missed being a game-tying home run.
Whoa.
Third base umpire Manny Gonzalez making the call, and now the umpires are going to confer as to whether the call was correct.
I thought it was foul. What is this?
I honestly could not tell.
It's shadows
Ball
down there
went
in
into
the
the
left field.
shadows, and Manny Gonzalez made the foul call, and they're going to check with the replay center in New York to make sure.
This
See
is a
if we
crew
can see the
chief
ball in the
challenge of
replay.
the foul ball.
Yeah, clearly
It's foul.
I think the reason that they're checking, Keith, is that they lost sight of the ball.
Okay.
It went into the shadows, and they just didn't see it. So they're going to check with New York. They'll see the replay we just showed, and they should quickly be able to tell them that it was the right call.
You know who knows it's definitely foul?
Chris Taylor, yeah.
No argument, nothing.
Well,
It's ready to hit.
And Canha knows.
Yeah.
But that's Gonzalez immediately came in after he made the call to say, look, I didn't see it. Let's check. And C.B. Buckner, the crew chief, is on the horn. And you can see there that clearly the ball winds up outside the foul pole. There it goes.
No doubt.
Not even that close. Jeremy Hefner wants to go out for a mound visit, and I'm not sure if he's being allowed to. I think they have to wait for this to be
replay.
discussed.
After review, the call on the field stands. Foul ball.
Okay, now Hefner will go to the mound to talk to Lugo. It's an 0-1 count to Taylor with 2 out and nobody on, and the Mets holding a 1-run lead in the bottom of the ninth.
It was a hanging curveball.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was.
Taylor hit a home run Friday night against Nagosic. He's got 6 for the year. Dodgers homered twice in this game. And now Lugo trying to secure the final out with a 1-run lead. Mets are 7-7 in 1-run games this year. Dodgers are 4-5.
Fastball away.
0-1 to Taylor. Curveball, half swing, he went around, and now it's 0-2.
Just keep the ball away. Yes, he did.
Takes a lot of guts. Throw a curveball, he almost hits it out of the park. You come back with next pitch, another curveball.
He trusts his curve. Dodgers down to their final strike. 0-2 from Lugo to Taylor. Too high. If Taylor were to keep it going, Eddie Alvarez would be next. Again, the 1-2. Up and away. Tried 2 fastballs. That one at 97. Couldn't get Taylor to chase. Taylor chases a lot. Strikes out a lot. But he's dangerous. 2-2 coming. And the slider misses badly, and now it's 3-2.
Just overthrew those last 3 pitches.
Sure did. Yep.
All that stuff for the 3-2 hook.
Trying to get him to chase here.
Keep the ball away.
3-2 to Chris Taylor. And he just got a piece of the fastball. Challenged him on 3-2. Lugo's had a couple of extra MPHs on his fastball today. Long at bats in this inning. 21 pitches already for Lugo. 2 out and nobody on. 3-2 coming to Taylor. Bouncing ball foul. And he'll do it again.
Hard for Lugo to throw that ball that darts the outside corner because it wants to drift back over the plate. That's just the natural movement he has when he lets it go.
Eighth pitch of the at bat coming from Lugo to Taylor. Curveball lined into left field, a base hit. That's going to go to the corner. Taylor on his way to second. And he'll pull in there with a 2-out double. So after pulling a curveball just foul earlier in the at-bat, he pulls a curveball inside the left field line for a double. And the Dodgers have the tying run in scoring position with 2 out.
Well, another quality at-bat. We've seen a lot of great at-bats today. And there's the curveball that got Lugo in trouble. Got it away enough.
So now Eddie Alvarez, making his first start for the Dodgers, will stay into bat. He's got a hit in 3 at bats today. He's got the tying run in scoring position with 2 down.
His hit was down the third base line, Gary.
And it's lined toward the middle. Base hit! Taylor around third. He'll score the tying run. Eddie Alvarez, first pitch swinging. And the Dodgers have scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th to tie it 4-4. What a magical moment for Eddie Alvarez. His first start as a Dodger, and he drives in the tying run with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, all the magic has really gone the Mets' way most of this season. Dodgers have plenty of magic too. Alvarez with a huge hit up the middle.
Just out of the reach of Guillorme.
Now it's Gavin Lux with the winning run at first and 2 out.
Good throw over right there.
Alvarez can steal a base.
Lux is 0 for 3 today, 2 for 12 in this series.
Both teams showing what they're made of.
Mets rallied for 3 in the 8th to take the lead. Dodgers down to their final out. Score to tie it. And Lux takes inside, ball 1.
Well, Taylor's going to score the tying run easily, and the reaction on the Dodgers bench.
Buck Showalter going unconventionally with his bullpen today. Used Diaz against the big hitters in the 8th. Trusted Lugo in the 9th. But Lugo's given up 2 runs. Alvarez with the big hit to get this game even. 1-0 to Lux. And the curveball misses inside. 2-0. Mookie Betts looms on deck, so this is obviously the hitter that Lugo's got to get out. Adonis Medina is the next man up in the Mets bullpen.
A lot of right field line. Marte out in the gap.
2-0 to Lux. And that's line to right field. Marte is right there, and we're going to extra innings. The Dodgers scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, getting the tying run home with 2 out. A double by Taylor, a single by Alvarez after Will Smith's home run, and it's 4-4 going to the 10th. He had Chris Taylor down to his final strike, couldn't put him away. Taylor doubles, Eddie Alvarez next pitch base hit to tie it. Big moment for Alvarez, and now we go to extra innings, and Craig Kimbrell's going to work a second inning for the Dodgers. Lugo going over his outing on the iPad. Pete Alonso is the free runner, having made the final out in the 9th. And J.D. Davis, Mark Canha, and Eduardo Escobar will be the 3 hitters due up against Kimbrell, who's asked to work a second inning.
My belief, when you're the road team in these extra innings, you need to score 2. That's what your thought process should be.
Unquestionably. JD's 0 for 3 and a walk today. And so we start fresh. And JD takes fastball up and in for ball 1. Mets have done very well in extra innings this year. They're 4-0. The Dodgers are 0-3 in extra inning games.
JD up in a similar situation. Last at bat, he got the runner, advanced the runner.
Yeah, I don't think you can play that way, though. You have to play for 2 runs. I agree with Ronnie. Can't think about 1.
Oh.
Kimbrell, this is away 2-0. Or did he get a strike call? He did?
I thought he called it a ball.
That's what I thought, too, but our bug says 1-1. Is it 2-0?
How about this, the compromise? You got to get 1 in, but you need 2.
So it is 2-0.
You don't get 1,
That's
you're
right.
chances are you're going to lose.
That's line into left field, and coming on Taylor, reaches down, can't get it, he boots it away. Alonso's going to score. JD trying for 2. The throw by Bellinger, not in time, and the Mets have the lead back. Taylor trying to make the reaching grab. It banked off his body. J.D. Davis with a double to drive in Alonso, and it's 5-4 New York, and still nobody out. That's how you play for 2.
A similar play to happen to Canha early in the game. This ball is ripped. 2-0, hitters count.
Number 19, Mark Canha.
And that's that tough hop right there.
I think the top spin fooled him, Keith.
Good base running by Pete right there.
So the Mets get the free runner home. Davis with the RBI double. And now they'll try and add a run with Mark Canha at the plate. Canha's been on base 3 times tonight. 2 singles and a hit by pitch. And he swings and misses at the curveball from Kimbrell. 0-1. Well, the Mets have Adonis Medina getting ready in the bullpen. It's going to be a very trying situation for him. He's going to have the top of the batting order, Betts, Freeman, and Turner coming up. So it would behoove the Mets to score as many as they can here in the top of the 10th. And Canha takes a curveball low and away, 1-1.
Here's that play, and an in-between hop, very similar to what happened to Canha. Couldn't get in front of it.
Taylor has caught a lot of those balls in this series. You almost expected him to grab it. Couldn't quite get there. It was hit so hard. And Canha fouls back the fastball. Had a good rip at that. 1-2.
Here we go. Another tough at bat. Tough outs.
Again, don't underestimate. Dave Roberts has had to use 2 of his relief guys, a sit down and go back out. Gratterall, who gave up some runs, and now Kimbrell, not as sharp this inning as he was the prior.
Keep in mind that his bullpen's a little shorter than it would have been because he had to use Evan Phillips last night because of that new rule. 1-2 to Canha with Escobar on deck. And Canha watches up and away, 2-2.
You know, another thing too, what these Mets have done, I mean, they come right back again and score the other end of the half inning after the opposing team has scored. They've done it all year.
Not only scored, a heartbreaker.
By the way, this is the first time this year that Kimbrel has been asked to go more than 1 inning. So it's new for him, at least this year. He strikes out Canha with his curveball, and that's the first out of the inning. So Canha can't advance the runner.
Good breaking ball from Kimbrel. One of the best that's ever been in the game for a guy who's a closer.
Big run to pick up out there on Segunda Base.
Escobar drove in the go-ahead run with a sacrifice fly in the 8th. Now he bats with Davis at second and 1 out in the 10th. And he loops one towards short. And up to get it is Turner. It's going to be a double play, and that will retire the side. Davis misread it. Turner was there to grab it. 6-4 double play. And the Mets settle for just the 1 run in the top of the 10th, and they'll hand it off to Adonis Medina. To go a place he's never been before. This is just his 11th career appearance. He's never had anything approaching this in his major league career, trying to protect a 1-run game with a free runner at second base in the bottom of the 10th inning.
You and I saw him finish a game in Arizona, a little different circumstances, as the Mets were winning 10-0. But I mean, what an opportunity for him.
It is.
It's been a heck of a ball game. A lot of really quality at bats. Both teams showing what they're made of. Come from behind. The Mets scoring 3 in the 8th. The Dodgers coming back. It's just been a fantastic game, and we'll see how this plays out.
I mean, it's been a great series. The Mets were held in check the first 2 games by some great pitching. Their bats came alive yesterday. They had a big rally in this game in the 8th inning, only to see the Dodgers tie it up with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. And now the Dodgers will have their formidable top of the batting order. It was this top of the batting order that induced Buck Showalter to go to Edwin Diaz in the 8th, and Diaz got the job done, getting Betts, Freeman, and Turner. Lugo, though, unable to seal the deal in the 9th, and so it gets left to Medina in the 10th.
The Mets have called on all 26 all season long. Why should it change today?
Gavin Lux will be the free runner. He made the last out in the 9th.
So they've got speed at second base.
He's the tying run. Mookie Betts will lead off. That bullpen had been impeccable until the 9th. Ottavino, Nogosek, and Diaz, each with a 1-2-3 inning, before Lugo gave up 2 in the 9th.
I'd kind of shade Lugo into right center a little bit, because Betts can go that way, and they got to tie this game minimum.
Betts is 0 for 4 today. And Medina throws a fastball by him to start him off. 0-1. Mookie was trying to end it with 1 swing.
The one thing we have seen from Medina since he's been called up a myriad of times, he's a strike thrower.
Can he hear?
This is his 6th appearance for the Mets after a handful of games the last 2 years with the Phillies. And he comes up and into Betts, a ball and a strike. Freddie Freeman waiting on deck. Yorme right behind the bag at second, so Lux can't get much of a lead. And Betts watches a slider roll out of the strike zone. 2-1. 25-year-old Adonis Medina trying to put a capper on what has been a thrilling series.
Got to throw a fastball here. Can't have this kid throw a 2-1 slider.
And Betts watches one on the outside corner at 95 miles an hour, and it's 2-2.
Remember, Medina has the advantage of the unknown.
It's true.
Two coming to Betts, and he slashes one foul. Betts has driven in 4 runs in this series and a big 3-run double in the game last night. 39 runs batted in for the year. Freeman behind him, then Trey Turner. Lux at second, nobody out. 2-2 to Betts. Breaking ball drilled down the left field line, foul. Got away with a hanging curveball that time.
Yes, he did. And too quick. Betts a little bit quick.
Trying to hear the pitch come. Shaking as he holds his hand to his ear. Now he and Nido are in agreement. 7th pitch of the at bat coming to Mookie Betts. And he pops one up in foul ground. That'll be beyond the reach of Alonso and in the crowd.
And he fought off that up and in fastball to stay alive, which shows me that he's 2-strike hitting right now. He's protecting the plate, as he should.
Dodger bullpen to this point is quiet. They'll need a pitcher if they tie the game, because you can't imagine Kimbrel's going to go a 3rd inning. Maybe they'll bring in McKinstry.
It's extras.
2-2 coming. And it's a little bit low. Full count to Betts.
It looked like a changeup
It
there.
was a changeup. And, you know, Betts hasn't faced this guy. I'm sure he's seen he's got a changeup, but he hasn't seen it, and he took that one.
Lux the free runner at second. A 9th pitch coming from Adonis Medina to Mookie Betts. And Betts asked for time late. Was it granted?
Yes.
That was, I mean, we saw a late one the other day with Bassett on the mound. That was even later.
And it also wasn't home plate umpire Bacon wasn't assertive about it. Because after he called it, he sat back down like he was going to call. Watch, calls time, but then he got down.
I mean, either call it and jump out or don't.
Exactly.
Exactly. Rookie umpire made a mistake there.
Yeah.
But it was time, so the pitch did not count. Again, the 3-2 coming to Betts. And a fly ball hit to right, not very deep. Lux tagging, Marte under it. Marte makes the catch, and Lux won't move an inch. That is a king-sized out for Adonis Medina. He gets Mookie Betts to fly to shallow right field, not deep enough to advance the runner. And now the tying run stays at second with 1 out for Freddie Freeman.
Big out.
Wow.
Got 2 more to get.
There was some confrontation there. Freeman hitting .362 this year with runners in scoring position. He's 2 for 4 today, a single and a double. And Freeman grounds one right at Lindor. He's got it. Makes the play to first, 2 out. Over to third goes Lux, but now the Dodgers are down to their final out. Trey Turner coming up.
What a great game.
Adonis Medina bidding for his first big league save, and he's 1 out away. Tying run 90 feet away. Trey Turner, who has 2 hits, a home run, and a single today, after having his 26-game hitting streak stopped last night, looking to get that tying run home from third. And Turner takes a strike, 0-1. Justin Brule getting ready in case the Dodgers tied and send it to the 11th. Medina trying to end it right now. And Turner jumps back. Ball pops out of Nito's mid. It's ball, 1-1.
Turner's upset about something. I don't know
Did
exactly
he say he got
what.
hit?
I don't know if he's saying that Nito got up and interfered with him, or there's something. I think it's about Nito.
Did the home plate umpire call that a foul ball? Is that what it is?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
And John Bacon, the rookie home plate umpire, who has had a little difficulty here in the 10th inning, is going to call in the crew chief, C.B. Buckner, to consult about whatever it is that's concerning Roberts. Let's watch this.
Yeah, it's catcher's interference. Hit the glove, hit the bat.
But
Bat hit the glove.
But if he didn't swing, it can't be catcher's interference.
Yes.
And that's the thing. If it's a check swing and the umpire rules that it's not a swing,
Yeah.
it can't be catcher's interference, right?
Right.
Los Angeles is challenging the no call of catcher's interference.
So there you go. I mean, that's my interpretation, is that can only be catcher's interference if you swing.
The issue here by Turner bringing this out to light is that he would go to first. That's not good for them.
Well, it puts the winning run on base.
He wants to take the at bat. Come on.
What? He's going to check his swing. He's not swinging at that ball.
Well, that's the thing. And am I interpreting the rule correctly that it can't be catcher's interference if you don't swing the bat?
I think anytime you're in the process of swinging the bat and the bat hits the glove, you can make the argument that he was going to try to swing the bat. You know, it's obviously a check swing, but you can make the argument that he was impeded from swinging because the glove hit the bat.
Did he? You're saying he checked? There's a possibility he checked his swing because he hit
of
the
the glove. That's maybe the argument.
Well, let's see what the ruling is here. Let's listen.
After review, the call is overturned. We have catcher's interference.
All right. Well, that puts the winning
The
run
batter
on
is
base.
awarded first
It puts
base.
the winning run on base, but it takes their best hitter out of a position to tie the game.
I want Turner hitting.
And it brings up a guy who did hit a home run in his last at bat, but Will Smith is not Trey Turner.
So now the tying run at third, the potential winning run at first, and Will Smith, who homered against Seth Lugo in the bottom of the ninth, has a chance in the bottom of the 10th with the tying and winning runs on base. Well, that's a new one on me. I didn't know that you could have catcher's interference on a check swing. But now what happens if Turner runs? He's the winning run. Do you throw through? You got speed at third and Lux.
Look how deep the infielders are, so you can't pull a trick play where you throw to second base and the middle infielder comes in on the grass and try to trick the runner at third. You can't do that. They're playing deep.
Here's Smith. His home run was his 6th of the year. 2 for 10 in this series. First and third, 2 down. And Medina's first pitch curveball in for a strike. 0-1. What a game. What a series this has been. Mets trying to hang on by their fingernails in the bottom of the 10th with a rookie on the mound going places he's never been before. 0-1 to Will Smith. There goes Turner, and they'll let him go. It's a call strike, and it's 0-2. So the winning run moves into scoring position uncontested. 11th steal of the year for Turner, but now the Dodgers are down to their final strike. 0-2 to Will Smith. A base hit could win it for Los Angeles. Medina 1 strike away from a save. 0-2 coming to Smith. Curveball popped up, backing out of play, and Smith able to stay in the at bat. I mean, this one has come right to the nub and beyond. Lux the tying run at third. Turner the potential winning run at second. 2 out. 0-2 to Will Smith. Away. 1-2.
Put a little extra on that.
If Smith were to walk or somehow keep this game going, Justin Turner would be next. Each team has already had a blown save in this game. Medina trying to make this one stand up. 1-2 coming. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Adonis Medina with his first major league save. The Mets get a split in this big 4-game series with the Dodgers. A fantastic game tonight. The Mets rally for 3 in the 8th. The Dodgers tied with 2 in the 9th. The Mets make their 1 run in the 10th stand up. Medina gets the save, and the Mets win it 5-4.
Medina goes through Betts. He goes through Freeman.
the catcher's interference almost served as putting the best hitter on the Dodgers on first base to get him to Will Smith with the strikeout. An amazing ball game.
Well, the Mets come out in this road trip, very important road trip, lose the first two with their top flight starters, and then come back and win the back two with their back end of their rotation. Come from behind victories, both fantastic. This shows you what this club's made of.
Tomas Nido had a big hit. J.D. Davis drove in the go-ahead run of the 10th. Adonis Medina with the save. Everybody on this ball club is contributing. The Mets could not buy a hit the first two games of the series, but they have two great days in a row to get a split with L.A.
We said it before the inning. They've needed 26 all year long. Today, it was Medina.
And the Mets again have the best record in the National League, a game ahead of the Dodgers. For every Mets win, the Amazing Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Katz Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. With today's win, the total contribution so far this season is $92,500. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Geico, switch today and see all the ways you could save. By Spectrum, switch and save with Spectrum Mobile, nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. And by Lexus, experience amazing. Amazing it was. 10 innings. Mets beat the Dodgers 5-4. They get a split of the 4-game series and now head to San Diego. Carlos Carrasco on the mound tomorrow night against the Padres. Blake Snell goes for San Diego. Coverage begins at 9 o'clock tomorrow night right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen in Los Angeles. Time for PointsBet Postgame Live. Let's join Gary Apple and Jim Duquette in the studio. Phew!